The summer of cricket is back.
Outside edges there, well taken, yes. Finger goes up. Seifert reaching for a ball wide of off stump, trying to club it through to the offside. And inside and out, over long, off, sailing high, long, handsome stroke. 6 runs off the batter Robinson.
Three at cover. They run 2, and that's all they need to do to win the game. New Zealand draw first blood.
Live from Bay Oval in Tauranga, this is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy on Sport Nation.
Miss Kia ora, good evening, welcome one and all. Sport Nation Summer of Cricket returns for a new season. I was joking with Alex Chapman before. We're back earlier than ever. Back with a bang as the fierce trans-Tasman rivalry reignites once again. It's showdown steeped in passion and national pride, this time in the T20 format. We're live at Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui, Beige Oval, for the series between New Zealand and Australia, with the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy on the line, a trophy that proudly acknowledges two legendary cricketing families from the respective nations. My name is Daniel McHardy on behalf of the entire commentary team. Great to have you with us here for another summer. Joining me in commentary, former New Zealand international and one of the very best behind the microphone, it's Mr. Ian Smith. It feels like winter, Smithy, but it's time for leather and willow.
What a great, it's almost like you were reading that. It was, how you'd practiced that?
No, I wrote it about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It sounded
you
good.
should see the spelling. It's atrocious. St. Pat's College, after all.
Look, it is October the 1st. It's not a normal time for us to be sitting at Bay Oval, for that matter, but we're here, and you know it's because of a very busy summer of cricket, which is highlighted by a World Cup and most of February and a little bit of March as well, which both these sides, of course, will be at playing this form of the game, which makes this a very, very important little mini-series. And not just for that, and you highlighted it too in what you said earlier, it's the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy. Now, I remember the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy when it first started and the rivalry between the two countries, but the standing of the two families. I know the Chappells. I've played against the Chappells. I've played with the Hadleys. I know how dedicated they were to the game of cricket. Not this form, because it hadn't even been thought of back in their day. But whenever they picked up a cricket ball, usually a red one, it meant that there was something very, very serious at stake, and that was personal pride, but also pride in what you did for your country. And they sound flowery words, but believe me, that was the case back in the day. It was about Australia, it was about New Zealand, and this is, to me, a very symbolic and very important trophy. And I imagine the players have had that message sort of relayed to them in that respect. This is just not a hit-out pre-season.
No, without question. Of course, you've got the... this is a launching pad for a World Cup in the first week of February when that starts, so it's individuals are sort of wrestling with cracking the squad, but New Zealand looking to right the wrongs of last time out, swept aside in the Chappell-Hadlee 3-0, wasn't it, in 2024, and I don't think we've had our hands on that trophy since 2016.
No, it's a bit Bledisloe Cuppy, isn't it? So it's about time we had it back, and here's a perfect opportunity. I just hope we get started soon before someone pulls out with injury. I mean, this series already, we lost Josh Inglis, who's a terrific wicket-keeper batsman, and when, of course, we lost the big show, Glenn Maxwell, and then, of course, we lost Rachin Ravindra yesterday in those horrible circumstances, and we really seriously wish him all the best and for a speedy recovery, because taking players of that quality out, very, very hard to replace, and are also crowd pullers. You know, those three names are crowd pullers, so we've got a really good squad from Australia coming over here. They've treated this very seriously. They have an opportunity as well, not just to win the Chappell or retain the Chappell-Hadlee, but to force themselves into that World Cup squad. Those opportunities will be few and far between, because, of course, their very next mission will be the Ashes, and that is huge.
What do you make of the New Zealand lineup? What stands out there?
I love Tim Seifert at the top. I think with him, with the gloves, you've got a genuine glove man. I know Devon Conway was doing it for a while, and you know he did
He's a stopper.
But he wasn't a specialist wicketkeeper. He'd be the first to admit that. When you're going to the subcontinent and spin's going to be a factor, I think it's highly important that you have a decent glove man at the top, and he's better than a decent glove man, and he's also a dashing player. And so without Rach and Ravindra, we're going to see what Tim Robinson's made of, and Devon Conway. They'll be the top three. Then you've got what I'd call a solid base, the backbone almost. Daryl Mitchell, isn't he part of that in all three forms of the game? Mark Chapman is just continuing to grow at international level, and I really like the thought that we're going to see some Bevan Jacobs, because he's a powerfully built young man. Michael Bracewell, highly thought of obviously in terms of leadership as well, and then we've got a very good bowling lineup in terms of the quicks here tonight with Folks, Jamieson. Nice to see Kyle Jamieson back. We got Matt Henry, of course, who is just everything to us, and Jacob Duffy, the number 2 ranked bowler in the world at the moment in this form of the game. So not a night for James Neesham, Ish Sodhi or Ben Sears, but over the course of the 3 nights, we'll see them.
You look at that Australian top 6, Head, Marsh, Short, David Carey, Stoinis. Gee, there's some boundary hitters there.
Oh, it's power. And look at Mitch Owen at 7 and what an impact he made right from the get-go in the West Indies. So Travis Head, Mitchell Marsh, danger, absolute danger there. Matt Short, strong. Tim David is a monster hitter. And then Alex Carey, who I believe is one of the most elegant batsmen I've seen, wicketkeeper batsmen I've seen for quite some time. He's got one of the best cover drives you can imagine. Stoinis, dangerous at 6, lethal at 6, then Owen. And then you've got your quicks and Adam Zampa as well. Josh Hazlewood is in the side tonight, but no Mitchell Stark from now on, of course. Massive loss for them. Who's going to do that? Is it Dorsus? Is it Ben Dorsus who's going to do that? Because he is a left armour. Can he get the ball to swing a la Mitchell Stark? That's what Australia will be hoping for.
They're really canny bowlers, though, across that group. The thoughts of Ian Smith, former New Zealand international, part of the heartbeat of the Summer of Cricket commentary team here on Sport Nation. We will take a short break. We will return with the anthems. If you're just tuning into our coverage, Australia has won the toss and decided to field. So they're looking to buck the trend that has developed over the last few years. Generally, captains do the opposite in the hunt for a T20 win at Bay Oval, Mount Maunganui. Stay with us. Back after this break with the national anthems.
It's so impressive, but this time he's hit square of the wicket.
You're listening to the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. This is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy, live from Bay Oval in Tauranga on Sport Nation.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Since the 1970s, Roundup's seen it all in the Kiwi backyard. The paisley prints, the short shorts, the backyard cricket, the conversations with the lawnmower, the barbies, and the outdoor lifestyle we still love today. We've been helping Kiwis keep weeds down year after year with a product for every job, from paths and lawns to those hard-to-kill weeds. Roundup makes it simple. Roundup, part of Kiwi backyards since 1976. To banish weeds now, reach for the Roundup.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
Big battle, your local liquor store.
Hawke's Bay Brewing Co. Peach or Berry Bomb Ginger or Lemon Fusion 4-pack cans, $17.99. Long White 10-pack bottles range, a hot 2 for $55. Tiger Ultra 12-pack cans, $23.99.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big battle, your local liquor store.
Cows need more than just calcium post-calving, so keep her eating, recovering and kickstart production in just a single application thanks to the complete Fresh Cow Bolus YMCP Vital from Techmix, available exclusively through Worldwide Sires New Zealand and selected veterinary partners. Make sure your cow gets what she needs. YMCP Vital from Techmix. Place an order today and mention the Rural Roundup to receive free Techmix merch while stocks last. Visit www.siresnz.co.nz.
Mate, did you get on the comeback last night?
Yeah, of course I did.
TAB in play. Bro, odds were flying.
Oh, I always miss the moment.
Not with real-time stats. You see the momentum swing and get in before the scoreboard does.
Wait, so you're betting mid-match?
Yeah, live and in the moment. Whenever the odds swing, I'm on.
TAB, get your bet on. Available on selected sports and markets only. T's and C's apply. R18, bet responsibly.
Helping to keep your horses and dogs on track and race ready is what Garrett's Horse and Hound has been successfully doing for over 20 years. They are the go-to for the largest range of specialty equine and canine products you'll ever need, including monthly specials and industry-leading advice. Garrett's Horse and Hound will have you bolting out of the gate because it's never been easier to shop their extensive range of products in-store or online 24/7. Visit horseandhound.com.au today.
That's the sound of home. A house built with expert care and attention by Generation Homes isn't just a house, it's a home. A place that sets the stage for the rhythm of your life, whatever that may be, with agreed timeframes and fixed prices. Building with Generation Homes is easier than you might think. Visit generation.co.nz to start today. Generation Homes, making building easy.
The Chemist Warehouse Spring Frenzy mega sale is on now with up to half price of big brands like Bondi Protein, Musashi, Optimum Nutrition, Faction Labs and Pure Sports Nutrition up to half price. Cativa, Lady Jane, Fudge, Hask and L'Oreal Professional up to half price. Sale ends October 1 only at Chemist Warehouse.
It's 6 more to Mitchell. Welcome back to the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. You're listening to live ball-by-ball commentary. This is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy on Sport Nation.
Here is indeed. Will be game number 1 in a short period of time, with Australia having won the toss and deciding to bowl. The two sides out the middle, ready for the national anthems. Ian Smith alongside me, providing expert commentary to start our coverage. Smithy will just pause, but it's incredible to think 20 years since the first T20 International, just how big a deal T20 cricket has become.
Well, and how the beige has survived throughout this
Timeless.
as well. The beige is timeless. Although I noticed they're not wearing the beige tonight. The Black Caps are in black.
So we are almost ready for the national anthems as the two sides standing away looking towards the members. It would be the Australian national anthem before New Zealand's.
I
Lovely renditions of both national anthems. The two sides arm in arm, maybe trying to keep warm. Ian Smith, it is a cool evening, a bolshy westerly breeze sort of whooping right across the venue as we look at it from our left to our right-hand side, heading towards mid-wicket. Could be quite fun, Smithy, I would think so.
It'll be a factor for the bowlers in particular, and maybe some of the fielders in the deep as well. When the ball goes high, it might swirl a wee bit. I put it down to the equinoctial gales, of course, because this has been talked about for quite some period of time. And Daniel, you're looking at me quizzically, and I'll just tell you, it's a bit of a myth, the equinoctial gale, but the theory is the southern hemisphere, including New Zealand, of course, the vernal spring equinox and the period that follows are characterised by the strengthening of westerly winds and the arrival of new fronts and squally conditions. This often leads to a period of increased windiness that reaches its peak when? October and November.
Right.
There you go.
Oh, this is great information to a Wellingtonian.
There you go.
I'm very serious about this.
In brackets, except for Wellington.
Which, it's not just westerly, it's easterly south.
And Chicago.
So I love Mitch Marsh as a cricketer. He's fun. He comes across really well. But I love he clearly has a plan. I like to bowl first. I don't care about stats of the grounds.
Well, it's like every Australian rugby coach comes to Eden Park and says it's just a field with posts at one end and the other end as well, and then some white lines in between. I don't why people get carried away about it.
What are your expectations for the Black Caps in this series?
I think they'll win the series. There you go. I'll take a punt that they'll win the series. They're coming in fresh. They're a little bit under-cricketed, so to speak. Probably not a word, but there you go. They haven't had the match practice Australia have had. But I think there's enough there. There's enough, I think, class, there's enough explosiveness too that they can give Australia a real hurry up here. So I'm picking New Zealand to win it 2-1. There you go.
Tim Seifert, speaking of explosive, so explosive as he returned to the top of the order last summer. Him and Finn Allen, of course, Allen unavailable for this series. He was frightening at times, sending visiting attacks to all parts of grounds last summer. Let's hope he can continue that. Well, this is a different world, isn't it, up against the Australians? And they will start with a slip. Third man, fine leg. It's fairly traditional. We've also got Deepa Scully, a point cover, mid-off, mid-on, and a mid-wicket. So we are ready for the first ball of the Chappell-Hadlee. It will be Hazlewood from over the wicket, getting aboard and nip back off the seam and hit a thigh pad. Gee, I've never seen that in his career.
Well, Josh Hazlewood is renowned for his dead-eye accuracy. I mean, he just puts it exactly where he wants. He's got great control. If anything, that was slightly short of a length by his standards, but it did move off the surface. That's the other thing to look at here. This is a first night pitch. It's very early in the season. You kind of think that if the fast bowlers are going to have some fun, it might be tonight. It might be a night for them, and we'll just see if it continues to move. It should swing a little bit as well with this wind.
Lovely balance, slightly angled approach, gathers and bowls and backing away and carving the ball out of the fence for 4. Little shuffle outside of leg stump, hit through the line powerfully through the cover region. The first big barrel boundary of summer. It's 4 without loss.
Well, he got the first one in the thigh pad and thought, to heck with this. That was an incredible cricket shot. I mean, if that's the taste of summer, bring it on. He just walked outside leg stump nonchalantly and belted one of the best fast bowlers the game's seen in the last decade through the covers for 4. What a shot from Seifert.
No change in the field. Australia sticking to their plan. Hazlewood from over the wicket. Here's lifted to mid-off. Should be taken. He's gone even further outside of leg stump. Had to reach for it. Hit the low on the bat and really just lobbed up to Marsh, who's shaking his head. Maybe the wind put him off, but they've got a breakthrough after just 3 balls. It's 4 for 1.
Big mistake here, trying to do it back-to-back. He already had made his impact against Josh Hazlewood, but Josh Hazlewood's smart. He's a seriously smart bowler. That was slightly shorter of a length, and because of that, Tim Seifert could not control the shot. So explosive in ball 2, out in ball 3. Not the way New Zealand wanted to start this. The ambition, you can't blame him for that, and the desire to dominate, but there's also a little bit of conservation required as well when you're looking at Hazlewood.
He's been so good for New Zealand, averaging 50 odd, Smithy, with a strike rate of 170 this calendar year. And if you can get into that ballpark, you're not just dangerous, you're world class.
Well, for me, he's a must for the World Cup.
Yeah, I agree.
Tim Seifert is. We just got to see more than what we saw from the second ball. And then, you've got to tie-ho a wee bit. You've got to make sure that you do have just a little bit of, I wouldn't say common sense about the whole thing, but there is time just to sit and wait, because players like Seifert, even if they face 3 or 4 or 5 dot balls, they can make up those deliveries in no time at all. So to me, that was a relatively poor dismissal and a bit of a gift for Australia, but gives Robinson a chance.
It does. Tim Robinson, the right-hander, his Wellington teammate Devon Conway, looked a little bit nervy as he wandered out, took his time. 23-year-old, also a clean striker, has played 12 T20 internationals. He's now got 2 slips behind. He stands very upright, bat raised around hip height. He waits and he's beaten, prodding outside of off-stump feet. Went absolutely nowhere. That hard length Hazelwood always seemingly hit. This time it just darts away.
Not sure how often Tim Robinson's faced Josh Hazelwood. Might be first up this one, but that one just held its line. It was angling in towards off-stump, left him ever so slightly, just enough to cause problems. So they've got Mitchell Marsh has gone from that deep mid-off position where he took the catch into first slip, got Matt Short alongside him, and of course Alex Carey with the gloves.
Robinson in his first international against Australia, 4 for 1. Batting at number 3, he backs away, dances down, and Hazelwood drops his length short, follows him, sees the ball sort of sail over head height down the leg side, but he's followed the bowler. He's entitled to do that, followed the batsman rather. Quality from Hazelwood.
It's almost as if he read his mind, wasn't it? It was like Hazelwood saw him coming. I don't know if he did see him coming, but maybe he left it a little half a step later. But this is an interesting field, Daniel. This is a 7-2 offside field. In T20 cricket, that's pretty rare, but that's the accuracy that you can rely on from Hazelwood.
Yeah, 2 slips, third man's a catching position for me too. Is Fuller this time again, slow to get forward, just a little press. He knocks it back to the bowler. There is no run. 4 for the loss of 1. Seifert gone at a boundary, went third ball caught by Marsh at mid-off off the bowling of Hazelwood.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
Summer of cricket on Sport Nation. We're on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. New Zealand a 4 for the loss of 1. Conway yet to face the ball. Robinson yet to get off the mark. He's faced 3. And Josh Hazelwood, so good, as you would expect, setting a nice tone for Australia. Now we're going to have left arm quick. Ben Dorshish is in. He's got a slip in heavily packed offside field once more. Deep backward square on the onside. From over the wicket, he bowls full, elegant-looking drive to the left of mid-off. David is across to his left. He'll prevent anything more than just a single being taken. Conway's off the mark. 5 for the loss of 1 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Watched Dorshis in the warm-up, actually, and he was moving the ball. He's bowling from our radio commentary box end, and the wind's going across the ground from left to right as we look at it, so it suits that outswing to the left-hander to Devon Conway. Now he would be moving it back into Robinson, but he was moving it markedly in warm-up, so we'll just see. And he used a nice full delivery at that occasion to allow it to swing.
Just his 11th T20 international, the veteran. Here's an attempted drive that's going to be dragged to the onside. Again, David's put into work. This time he's going to his left from mid-on, a single to Robinson. He's off the mark. Conway's on 1, 6 for 1.
Good crowd, really good Wednesday night crowd. I mean, I looked at the schedule and I thought, will they come 3 nights in a row? And certainly night number 1, they have really turned up. Of course, it's school holidays, so not such a bad night to bring the kids, but it's a working night as well.
Dorshish from over the wicket, looking to work over Conway, who's bowled, advancing down the wicket. He's played inside the line, and then it's thundered into the timber. It's 6 for the loss of 2 in the second over.
Another full delivery, maybe Devon Conway was thinking it was going to swing away from him. It didn't. It held its line. If anything, it just straightened off the surface of the pitch. It was a beautiful length delivery. So Conway got himself into a hole there where he was in absolute no man's land and ended up playing a nothing sort of a shot. He was just done in terms of length and line. So New Zealand set back in the worst possible way here, 6 for 2. Both openers gone far too quickly.
Just enough off the surface, Smithy, as you rightly point out, to go past the outside edge. And, well, Conway trudges off. And now, another left-hander, Mark Chapman. He certainly was not thinking 5 minutes ago he's going to be facing the 10th ball of the match.
And this is where you sense you miss a Rachin Ravindra, these kind of situations, because whilst he's a dangerous player, he's a smart player too, Rachin, and he would have thought that, okay, let's just give them an over or two where the new ball will probably move a wee bit. They can have the first 2 if they like, and we can recover from that in terms of run rate, but it's very hard to recover when you lose 2 wickets so quickly. So now it's a genuine period of consolidation, you think. Chapman's equipped to do that. He's played very well for New Zealand in the last year or two.
2 slips now in place. 4 others inside the circle on the offside. Backward point, you've got a point to cover mid-off. That's David trying to keep his hands warm in his pockets. Leg side wide, is it? They go up for an appeal. And turned down by the umpire. Then having a little conference, are they? Yeah, they're coming together. There, they're going to have a look. Mitchell Marsh. They were pretty confident behind the wicket.
Dorsha said his words were there was a noise and it was away from everything. In other words, he don't think pads involved.
We have a power review for caught behind. On-field decision not out. Say fair delivery. Start front on things.
Right. So let's have a look. Definitely push down the leg side. Look into. He is right, Dorsch, just in the sense it is bat away from pad. And if there is a noise, it has to be bat, Smithy.
Yeah, it's really well read, this. If there's a little tickle here, he's in big trouble, Chapman. There is. Yeah, he's in big trouble here. Australia have struck again, and that's a first baller for Mark Chapman.
Oh, they're starting the season way too early, Smithy. I don't know. This is a dreadful start for New Zealand in the Chappell-Hadlee, where Chapman has gone, caught down the leg side, near the edge, originally not given by the umpire, but credit the Australians. Dorshus, while he's only in his 11th T20 international, the 31-year-old has plenty of experience. Now very calmly came together, and there were lots of voices heard.
Looks like a game of rugby, isn't it? 6-3 at the moment. It's not a good look, is it? But here, Daryl Mitchell, how often has he walked out having to bail New Zealand out of trouble? Well, he's got to now, and any thoughts of a really high score batting first are out the window at the moment. This is just looking to consolidate and get some respectability, some sort of a total where Australia will be threatened a little later in the evening. But at the moment, they're on song. They've got the line, the lengths worked out. Mitchell Marsh is setting good fields. The bowlers are backing it up. And what's more is they got the review right. Sometimes you can get that wrong, but Dorshus, even though he's a relatively new guy on the side, convinced his captain, and his words were, it was wide of everything. If it hit anything, it had to be the bat.
He was right, and now he's given himself an opportunity to take a hat-trick. Hat-trick ball in the second over. 6 for the loss of 3 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. From over the wicket, he's bowling to Daryl Mitchell. He goes full wide. Mitchell tries to punch it through the offside, sees it past the outside edge and on the bounce through to the keeper.
If it wasn't a hat-trick ball, that goes through the covers for 4, but you don't want to be part of a hat-trick. And Daryl Mitchell's sort of thinking to myself, I can't get out here. I can't get out. I can't give him a hat-trick. And then he gets a relatively wide full toss and can't get it because he's hell-bent on defence and missed out on an opportunity. But there was a freebie to get away with. But Australia right on top here, and the body language out there is it's quite threatening towards New Zealand. They're hunting them down at the moment.
Still 2 slips as he's bowling to Mitchell from over the wicket. He leans forward, inside edge onto the pad. They'll sneak a single into the cover region. We'll get maybe a second, are they? They're coming back. Throw to the non-striker's end. Gee, that's brave. Aggressive running, and it's seen them pick up 2 runs. 8 for the loss of 3. Mitchell off the mark with 2. That is the end of the over. Left armour, splendid job backing up Hazelwood. Hazelwood going for 4, picking up a wicket. Dorsius has done even better. He also has gone for 4, but 2 wickets. Utterly dream start for the Australians. 3 wickets and 2 overs.
Yeah,
wow.
both openers will be kicking themselves. Chapman, he'll be frustrated because he was strangled down the leg side to a wideish delivery, but Seifert and Conway here. Seifert, okay, well, we thought he was just a little bit too expensive. You've got to respect Hazelwood's quality. And then Devon Conway, having lost Seifert, was a little bit loose himself and got caught in no man's land.
Hazelwood, 2 slips continue behind the wicket from over. He bowls to Robinson, who likes to stand still, flicks it down towards long leg. The backward square really for a single. 9 for the loss of 3 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. New Zealand have lost Seifert for 4, Conway for 1, and Chapman caught down the leg side without scoring first ball.
Well, it could be a night for Bevan Jacobs. Heard so much about him. And then Michael Bracewell, of course, with the captain's armband on tonight, with no Mitchell Santner around at the moment because of injury as well. So there is an air of depletion about this New Zealand side, but there's an air of excitement and opportunity about it as well. So for Jacobs, he's going to get a real chance tonight.
Marsh and Short at first and second slip. This one sees the ball sail over second slip. It was short, it was wide. He's thrown the hands at it. Top edge, safely away from second slip. Down to the rope for 4, 13 for the loss of 3. Mitchell's first boundary.
No excuse for New Zealand, and they won't be making excuses, but they've been playing in the nets. They've been at Nelson Park and Napier having a run round. They've got relatively good surfaces there to practice on and have open wicket situations. But the fact of the matter, it's a big step up from Nelson Park and Napier against net bowlers and what have you to Hazelwood and co in a fully fledged T20 international.
13 for 3 from over the wicket. Hazelwood continues, goes fuller straighter past the inside edge into the thigh pad, no run. It's hard to recreate just the stature of Josh Hazelwood. Probably not many net bowlers around that part of the country.
Not Napier that I can recall. No, not at all. But it's great to see him here. I mean, and one of the reasons we see him here is because he's hungry for cricket. He's had injury problems. He wants to re-establish himself, and he's got a good fella by the name of Scott Boland breathing down his neck for a test place in the Ashes. He just wants to play cricket and bowl well and with rhythm.
He's shown good rhythm here. He's 2 straight on this occasion. Worked by the New Zealand right-hander through square leg. Wanted to come back for a second, but Mitchell slipped over at the non-striker's end. He'll have to stay there. 14 for the loss of 3. What I love about Josh Hazelwood, and you've seen the skills of fast bowlers over the last 20 years evolve mightily. Slower bowler, slower balls and all that. Hazelwood's recipe's timeless, isn't it?
Well, it's just find a target on a surface, work out the surface, find the target area and hit it. I mean, it's pretty simple in that respect. It's easy to say. It's not always that easy to do it, but he can.
Continues from over the wicket, goes short this time, looking to hook and drag it from outside of off stump down towards long leg for just 1. 15 for the loss of 3 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard as Mitchell 7 and Robinson now up to 3.
I'm sure over the years we've seen television coverage of Hazelwood, and particularly in Test cricket, where they get the pitch map out and then they show the ball after ball after ball, and it's all hitting relatively the same zone, which means a batsman, if he wants to create pressure or create a scoring rate, has to invent. He has to try and do something, as Seifert did, but it was only third ball, and he just hit him for 4 this previous ball. Didn't perhaps need to do it.
Hazelwood continues, again targeting the top of off stump as leaning forward. Mitchell pushes to cover. That's the end of the third over. 15 for the loss of 3. Robinson is 3, Mitchell 7. New Zealand losing their top order in space of 9 balls to start this game. Doshish was on a hat-trick. He will continue, you would think. Front of us, number 82 on his back. It's been pretty easy for Mitchell Marsh to capture the size. Hardly had to make a fielding change. It's like, should I have 1 or 2? Definitely 2 slips.
2 slips, just the one at the moment. Just the one. And it's Robinson on strike, and Marsh hands in pockets at mid-off. It's a bit chilly out there.
15 for 3, going at 5 runs and over. Robinson cramped up. Likes to free those arms. He sort of stands quite prone at the crease, doesn't he, Smithy?
He does. He's an exciting talent. There's no doubt about it. But then you've got to turn around, of course, and make sure that you can turn that talent into profit. So, I'm just looking out the window. We got David at mid-on, and March, they're big blokes, aren't they? Huge men, Tim David, Mitchell Marsh.
Bushish again. Here's a drive that's straight to the offside towards mid-on. Falling over, throwing theatrically was... That's Tim David, of course. The other powerhouse is Mitchell Marsh at mid-off. Built like back rowers. The Bison has the ball, the skipper. So still a slip, third man, backward point. Cover mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket. And a fine leg, quite square. There's a salt being pushed across the surface. Here's a slog from Mitchell trying to heave it to the onside. Gets a thick inside edge, and it goes fine down towards the boundary for a big barrel boundary. 20 for the loss of 3, Mitchell to 11.
Mid-wicket is in, and Tim David is inside the circle at mid-on, and that was the target area for Daryl Mitchell. He was looking to hit it over mid-wicket, over mid-on, and was fortunate really that he got a really thin inside edge past Alex Carey. There's no fine leg as such. He's more a deep backward square leg, so never going to be cut off at that point.
Very strong westerly winds would aid a shot out direction. Mitchell, open stance, looks up, the left arm quick bowls to him, and he hits powerfully over cover, slicing away more through point, so get it all out of the middle, and they'll come back for 2 as Mitchell moves to 13, 22 for the loss of 3 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard.
And there's the first evidence of the wind. I mean, that didn't go anywhere, and it pulled up very quickly through the offside. So lesson here, if you're going to hit in the air on that side of the field, then you've got to be making sure you get the space right, you get the gap right, or you get the timing absolutely better than perfect, because it's going to be a factor.
Third man's gone quite square now, Smithy, deep backward point, and the slippers come out, moving to a short third man.
A shortish cover too, catching cover, which is Matt Short.
Dawshish was ready to go, but Mitchell just backed away, battling this westerly breeze. There's Mitchell hitting straight down the ground. Vintage Daryl Mitchell just crept over the rope. That should be 6. Big barrel boundary. Straight down the ground from Mitchell. They'll just check, but it looks 6.
A 6 by about 6 inches. That's all it has to be. It just crept over the boundary Toblerone, if you call it. That's the shape of the boundaries these days. It just made it over the top. And so, therefore, that'll be the first 6. And that is the best shot we've seen today, because it was a pure cricket shot, straight down the ground. So Daryl Mitchell, when he gets in the mood, he's so capable of hitting that down the ground like that. He does it to the spinners. That was glorious.
Confirmed it was a 6. Big barrel boundaries, bigger range, bigger deals. New Zealand 28 for the loss of 3. Mitchell's 19 off just 9. He waits and gets a short one. He pulls it down towards the protected deep backward square boundary for a single. 29 for the loss of 3.
Not a bad counter punch that over, was it? To be perfectly honest, a single, a 4, a 2, a 6 and a 1. So nice fight back from Mitchell.
14 runs off that over. Just what New Zealand needed. Wonky old start if you're late into our coverage here on Sport Nation, the summer of cricket. Great to have you along board. New Zealand lost Seifert with a score at 4, third ball of the innings, caught it mid-off. Then Devon Conway was bowled by Dawshish, third ball of his first over, 6 for 2, and then Mark Chapman caught down the leg side, very next ball, 6 for the loss of 3 after 1.4 overs. New Black Caps coach Rob Walters thinking, oh dear, what have I got myself into here?
Well, he had a pretty easy run, didn't he, in Zimbabwe. Things worked out perfectly for him. He was unbeaten, and they played some pretty good cricket over there, particularly against South Africa in white ball cricket. They won that tri-series. This is a step up.
Hazelwood to bowl a third on the trot. He has 1 for 11. He bowls full outside of off stump, dropping the ball onto the onside as Mitchell calling his partner through a single. 30 for the loss of 3.
Well, this is Daryl Mitchell in a belligerent mood. His first thought is to hit New Zealand out of trouble here. I suppose that's becoming the nature of the game. You know, in the days when it was first around T20 cricket, if you could get 160 and ask the opposition to get 8 and over, you thought you're in the hunt, and that was a good score. These days, 160 is not even in the frame. They're knocking down 240s, 250s, these big boys. So probably that's the thinking, that they're going to keep coming out, New Zealand, and firing shots, and just if 3 or 4 of them can come off, they'll get some respectability.
Slip out, goes to cover. Catching cover is Hazelwood from over the wicket, bowl short. It's pulled. I think high on the back, going through forward square leg for only a couple long boundary out there. Changing around to his left-hand side. Is just trying to pick up the number. Another big rig. Abbott. I should remember him. He bowled about 400 dot balls in the Chappell-Hadlee a couple of years ago. New Zealand could not get him off the block. You might remember, Smithy.
Again, again hitting into the breeze. It's not going that far.
No. Hazelwood again cramps up. Robinson trying to glide it through heavily packed offside field. Tricky to do. The Australians always good in the field quickly and prevent a run. 32 for 3.
Well, because he's got 4 seamers in Dorsius, Bartlett and Hazelwood, then he's got Marcus Stoinis, who can bowl a wee bit in himself. He might just let Hazelwood go through here instead of, he might just let him bowl 4 straight. Well, would he hold him back for 1? Zampa's in the frame as well shortly.
David can roll the arm over. No lack of options. Strong gust right across the field as this time it's Robinson cramped up once more. Again, playing the ball to backward point, no run.
And now Mitchell comes down and he's just having a word or two to say, look, it's okay, it's all right. Don't do anything stupid. This might be Hazelwood's last over of this spell. If he's got you, he's got you, but make sure he doesn't get you out. And we can recover from this.
Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation, 32 for the loss of 3. New Zealand sent in by Marsh's Hazelwood, 1 for 14, 2 balls remaining. From over the wicket, he'll continue to pepper Robinson. He goes short. This is pulled away with more authority. Won't get to the boundary, but they'll come back for 2. Good running. Strong arm. Not quick enough to prevent Robinson moving to 8.
Yep. Genuine short delivery, shorter than the previous 2. Maybe he was expecting that and just sat back on it a wee bit, Robinson. But again, hitting the ball towards the area where the wind is coming from is a lot harder. If you're going to hit it in the air, be careful.
Xavier Bartlett, I finally got it, Smithy. He's out there at deep backward square. He'd be in the second row for Australia, alongside Hazelwood. Inside edge, almost threatening the stumps, as once more Robinson trying to chop the ball away through the offside. That is the end of the over. 5 overs bowled. New Zealand being sent in trouble, going at 6.8 runs and over. It's 34 for the loss of 3. After this break, Chris Harris and Tom Bartlett.
Big battle, your local liquor store.
Pure Blonde 24-pack cans, $42.99. Heineken 24-pack bottles, a hot 2 for $90. Voldoro, Tawny or Ruby Port, any 2 for $60. Maloney's Irish Cream 700ml, a hot 2 for $32.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big battle, your local liquor store.
This is the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. It is 34 for 3. New Zealand batting first in the first of these 3 Chappell-Hadlee T20 internationals. And New Zealand doing it tough at the start here at Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. Tom Bartlett in commentary alongside former Black Cap Chris Harris. Harry, not easy. The start for New Zealand. Australia have come and they have put it down at the moment.
Yeah, they've been exceptional at the top, haven't they? Dorsius and Hazelwood, superb with that new ball.
Marcus Stoinis into the attack for the Australians. Right arm medium, bowling to the right-handed Mitchell, who tries to lap the ball over the top of the wicketkeeper. Gets bad on it, sort of lobs up. And in the end, the player coming around, Zampa, to do the fielding from a short third. They get through for 1. It's 35 for 3.
It's almost as though Stoinis saw him go in that position and bowled as slow as he possibly could. making it difficult for Daryl Mitchell. Yeah, I was a bit surprised when I was down there doing the toss and Mitchell Marsh won the toss and elected to bowl first, because history here at the Bay Oval will suggest you bat first. I think if you bat first, the team that bat first wins 80% of the games, but it's been very much justified now with 3 early wickets.
Tim Robinson on strike as Storness bowls him. He's driving down the ground, looping. There's a dive from Tim David at mid-on, and they get through for 2 runs. David scampered down to the boundary, fires the ball back in, but it was almost Tim David in business.
Yeah, he's a good athlete. He's a big man, but he gets down well. He's got a great pair of hands, and it was quite interesting there because Tim Robinson was looking to sneak back for 3. It was a valiant effort, couldn't quite get there. Chased it to the mid-on boundary, and Daryl Mitchell sent him back because he just knows how powerful Tim David's arm is.
Robinson 10, Mitchell 22. New Zealand 37 for 3. As Stoinis continues, right arm over the wicket to Robinson. Gets a pull, short one. He's pulled it, and it's hit. I think it might have bounced just in front of the boundary rope, and it's gone for 4 for sure. Robinson's up to 14. It's 41 for 3. Now, that was a shot of some authority, Chris Harris.
Yeah, that'll make him feel, they'll give him lots of confidence. It was a front foot pull. Stoinis, slow ball bouncer, just that faster off spinner, and it played right into the hands of Tim Robinson, who just hit it flat, and we think it's just bounced short and gone for 4. That'll make him feel a lot better. Interesting that Stoinis is bowling the 6 over. It's normally such an important over, the last over of the power play. Or he's actually given it 6. Must have hit the boundary fence on the full. Lovely shot.
And there was a player, or there is a player out there at deep mid-wicket on the fence. Didn't have to move very far, but no good. Here's Stoinis. Full delivery. It's hit in the air, but it's gone between the 2 players that cover him it off. Mitchell Marsh is heading out to the boundary. Carries it in, fires it back to the bowler, and they get through for 2. It's 45 for 3. The PGG Wrightson Turf pitch report, Chris Harris. You were out there in the centre. What have you seen so far in the game, reflecting on the pitch report now?
Well, Jared Carter, I think, has done a fabulous job with his team. They've had weather events, they've had rain, they've had wind. This is the earliest an international's ever been played in New Zealand.
45 for 3. Stoinis, slow ball, picked 2 by the right-hander Robinson. He's going to pick up 4 out to the sweeper, where there's no one out there at that cover boundary. So this is a very good over for New Zealand. 49 for 3. Robinson to 22 all of a sudden. Talking about that PGG Wrightson Turf pitch report, Chris Harris, New Zealand's industry-leading turf experts. Is the pitch playing the way you expected it to?
Yeah, absolutely. It's phenomenal. For the 1st of October, this is incredible. Club cricket hasn't even started in New Zealand. Jared Carter and his team have done a wonderful job.
Last ball of the power play as Stoinis bowls to Robinson. He's trying to force this one down the ground, but Tim David's moving to his left at mid-on, cuts it off, and that ends the power play, which in the beginning was very much owned by Australia, taking 3 wickets inside that first couple of overs. But then New Zealand hitting back with a partnership. So 49 for 3 at the end of the power play, Chris Harris, certainly belonged to Australia.
Yeah, it does. Look, I'm really happy for Tim Robinson, the way he's finished there, because he was getting under pressure. I think he was like 10 runs off about 14 or 15 balls. And just that last over with a couple of boundaries has just released a little bit of tension off him, and he'll put him in a good spot going into just outside of the power play. So New Zealand was certainly in trouble at 3 for 6. And Mitchell Marsh said, Chris, that's why I won the toss and bowled first, because I know Michael Bracewell was pretty happy that Australia decided to bowl. But New Zealand are between Mitchell and Robinson trying to rectify things and doing a great job.
Change of bowling at the Mount Maunganui end. Xavier Bartlett coming into the attack in his 8th match. 13 wickets at 15. Best of 3 for 13. Xavier Bartlett trying to keep up the good work that Australia have done at the start of this first Chappell-Hadlee T20. Right arm fast over the wicket to the right-handed Mitchell, and he's sort of checking his shot as the ball arrives and ends up sort of just tapping it up to mid-on, and they go through for 1. The New Zealand 50 comes up. 50 for 3 at the start of the 7th over.
I haven't seen much of your cousin bowl. Have you seen much of him?
I always knew that I was going to get a joke with you at some point about my good friend Xavier's being my namesake. I just thought you might wait a couple of deliveries, but thank you, Harry. No, I haven't seen him bowl. Not in the flesh, anyway.
Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing him. Good start.
It's a strapping individual as he comes in again. Bowls to the right-handed Robinson, who just sort of almost sweeps the ball from short of a length Out to deep mid-wicket, Mitchell Marsh. Sorry, that's not Mitchell Marsh out there. That's Matt Short who's doing the fielding out there. They go through for one. It's 51 for 3.
That was a lovely shot. A little short arm jab from a length delivery from Bartlett. Robinson now, you can just see the confidence he gained from that last over from Stoinis. I wouldn't say he's struggling, but he looked as though he's working really hard to score and try and stay in, and just feel as though he's freed himself up now.
19 deliveries for 23 is the right-handed Robinson, but it's Mitchell who's forcing this one up to mid-off this time, runs with the shot and goes through for a single. Mitchell to 24 and New Zealand 52 for 3.
Yeah, I think it's terrific recovery from these two. As I said, 3 down for 6 runs after a couple of overs. Well, I think they're 3 for 8 after 2. These two scored 41 off the next 4 overs, which was a terrific effort, really, because New Zealand could ill afford to lose another wicket.
Tim Seifert, Devon Conway, Mark Chapman. 4-1 and a duck. Their respective contributions. Right arm, Xavier Bartlett in, giving himself some room this time. Robinson heaving that over deep cover and into the area just in front of the players' pavilions. A maximum from Tim Robinson, who's getting into the groove. 58 for 3.
That's a terrific shot. It's just what I was talking about, the confidence he gained. Now, all of a sudden, all the shots are coming out. Gave himself room. Bartlett tried to follow him. It was back of a length, and he's hit it over cover, off the back foot for 6. Wonderful shot.
While the breeze is coming from a westerly direction here, and that effectively is assisting that delivery, it's not quite in that direction, so he used the breeze to good effect there. Robinson's on 29, waits, he gets another short one, and he swings this one hard, and that's pierced the 2 fielders who are out on that offside. And that has gone, sorry, onside rather, that has gone for 4. That's a bullet off the bat. Robinson to 33, and New Zealand to 62 for 3.
Oh, wonderful batting. All of a sudden he's turned this innings around from his point of view. 33 from just 21 deliveries. And what's even more important, he's put the new bowler, Bartlett, under all sorts of pressure.
Back-to-back big barrel boundaries, bigger range, bigger deals off the bat of Tim Robinson. He is in the groove. Bartlett under pressure. Last ball of the 7th over. He bowls to Robinson. It's down the leg side. It'll be a wide, so he'll have to do that one again. And the New Zealand total to 63 for 3.
Tom, you're just talking about those 3 wickets. If I analyse the first 3, see, Conway and Seifert, for me, both got themselves out. I thought it's always tough for Chapman. That was a little bit unlucky, getting strangled down the leg side on your first ball. And initially Sean Hay didn't give it out. Australia reviewed it and it was given out on review, but it was just a feather down the leg side, a little bit unlucky.
Changes to the field. Third man has come up inside the ring. Backward point also just right on that inner circle. Bartlett bowls. It's full, dug out by the right-handed Robinson. Spills to short fine leg. Zampa scampers up to do the fielding, and that will end the 7th over. New Zealand fighting back here at Bay Oval in this first Chappell-Hadlee T20 International. They are 64 for 3 batting first.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
64 for 3 is the score at Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. Great to have your company wherever you are tuning in. This is the first of 3 Chappell-Hadlee T20 Internationals on Sport Nation. And as I say, 64 for 3 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. New Zealand asked to bat first by Mitchell Marsh. And they lost 3 wickets inside the first 2 overs. They have fought back. 64 for 3. Adam Zampa into the attack, bowling from the Papamoa end. First delivery is short and it's been smashed over mid-wicket for 6. It's disappeared into parts of the wider Bay Oval area, over the top of the, almost towards where the players practice in the nets. Huge hit off the bat of Tim Robinson. He's 40 and it's 70 for 3.
Well, it wasn't that long ago. I think he was 4 off 8 deliveries, and all of a sudden he's 40 off 23. So he's now taking Australia on after getting through that tough period at the start, and now he's seeing the ball like a beach ball.
That wasn't a great start from Adam Zampa. It was what I would describe, Harry, as a true long hop. It was short in the hitting zone, hitting with the wind, of course, is Robinson tonight. And that was milk and bread and butter stuff, really.
It's the one place you can't bowl. You can't bowl short as a leg spinner when it allows the right-handed batsman to hit with the wind, because these boundaries just aren't big enough. And when you throw in that strong westerly breeze, which is helping you, it puts no doubt in the batsman's mind that he's going to take on the boundary.
New Zealand's run rate has shot up to 9.77. They were really dripping along in the 3s and 4s early in this game. Here's Zampa. This will be much fuller. It is, and it almost gets through. Tries to go back, Robinson, again and force it down the ground, but misses it and into the gloves of Carey, who whips the bails off. But a near miss.
Yeah, good from Zampa. A lot quicker and a little bit flatter as well. And very lucky Robinson, it didn't bowl him leg stump.
70 for 3. Zampa over the wicket again to Robinson, but fuller, and again he's trying to play this one on the offside. No timing. Carey does the fielding round in the short mid-on position. 70 for 3.
Always love that first game in a series. Don't normally expect it on the 1st of October. But as I said, the ground staff have done a wonderful job here. Produced a wonderful surface.
Great crowd in too. Most of the embankment is populated here at Bay Oval. Here's Zampa. He's using his feet as Robinson and punching down the ground. Short is down at long off. And there's one run. 71 for 3 New Zealand. Robinson to 41.
This is a great example of what makes Zampa such a good bowler. There'll be no spin in the surface whatsoever, but what he will do is mix up his pace. He'll bowl some out the back of the hand just to keep the batsman guessing, but he'll mix up his pace. He'll go shorter, he'll go fuller, and he'll just keep mixing it up.
130-odd T20 international wickets for Adam Zampa in over 100 games. Full delivery this time. Daryl Mitchell, circumspect, drives it down through the vacant mid-on area for 1. 72 for 3.
Is that your way, Tom, of saying, I think he knows what he's doing?
A lot of experience.
He's a heck of a bowler in this format. He's got a wonderful record. And he's one of those bowlers that Australia quite often turn to, or Mitch Marsh turns to when they need a wicket. And so often he delivers.
Operating from the Papamoa Hills end as Robinson is driving. It's gone just wider of long off. They want 2, but the fielding's good from short. He moved around the ball and collected and threw all in the one motion. And that brings the end of Adam Zampa's first over. It cost him 9 runs. And New Zealand to 73 for 3 after 8.
It was a good comeback when you consider the first ball went for 6 and then just 3 dots off the next 5 deliveries. That's part of what makes him such a special bowler. Even though he got hit in that very first delivery for a maximum, he was able to turn it around. But such an important partnership these two have put together for New Zealand, just starting to set that platform for the likes of another player I'm really looking forward to, Bevan Jacobs, who I believe is down to come in next. Very strong player. So this is a wonderful platform for a player of his ability to come in and play some shots. We're going to have spin at both ends, Tom.
Matt Short is going to come into the attack from the Mount Maunganui end. 7 wickets in the 14 games he has played, and he is going to go round the wicket, bowling his off breaks, right arm off breaks, to the right-handed Tim Robinson. Tricks himself some room and then clips it behind square. Chase for square leg on the fence. They're going to scamper back for 2 runs on the throw. And they get home. 75 for 3. Robinson to 44 from 28.
Good batting again from Robinson and good placement. Took on the boundary rider, running very hard between the wickets. Big boundaries here at Bray Oval, so lots of 2s.
Short bowls, gives himself some room and then sort of cuts it over the top of backward point, and it's gone for 4. 2 players converging on it. But it just kept rolling with the wind again into that corner in front of the scoreboard here at Bay Oval. Tossed up by Matt Short. Got enough bat on it, didn't he, did Tim Robinson? He gets the big barrel boundary, bigger range, bigger deals.
Yeah, flies through to 48 from just 29 deliveries. Wasn't a bad ball from Short. What Robinson did well is gave himself lots of room, pitched about middle stump, but managed to find the gap out at backward point.
It's coming over the wicket now, Short. Robinson back, punching down through long on for 1. In fact, might look for a second run, but Daryl Mitchell makes the intelligent decision to send him back. 80 for 3 now, midway through the 9th over.
Can't believe how that run rate's improved so much. 9.41 just shows in a flash. These two consolidated a little bit when they came together, and now they're taking it back to the Australians with some terrific batting and running between the wickets.
Came together when the score was 6 for 3. 6 runs for the loss of 3 wickets inside 2 overs. New Zealand were in all sorts early in this game. Now it's 80 for 3, and they're running at 9.41. Robinson 49. Mitchell on strike. He's on 25. His short bowls to him, and he's one, and he swings it round the corner. Again, chase for the player at the backward square leg boundary. Well, cut off there by Mitch Owen, and they take 1. Mitchell 26. Tim Robinson 49, and it's 81 for 3.
Be interesting to see how long Mitch Marsh waits before he goes back to seam. Had such success at the start, but these two, wow, what a turnaround.
Robinson waits for the delivery of the right-handed, right arm delivery of short, and he pushes it down the ground. And that is a very well compiled half century for Tim Robinson. He's 50 from 31. Raises the bat, gets a warm applause. Striking at 161, Chris Harris. Pretty good in the circumstances from Tim Robinson.
Oh, very impressive. Got off to a slow start, as I said earlier, but now striking at 161. That's a terrific 50 when New Zealand needed it most, off just 31 deliveries.
82 for 3 is the score. Last ball of the 9th over. As short as into the right-handed Mitchell, and it's down the leg side, and it's wided by the umpire, Chris Brown. 83 for 3.
I like that both of these batsmen now, including Mitchell, are looking to put pressure on the Australian bowlers. They're moving around the crease. They're trying to use different options, making it very difficult for the bowlers in these conditions.
Short, right arm again. Mitchell swinging hard down the ground. Oh, Tim Robinson has to get his hand out of the way with some velocity that was coming at. Got through for 1 as the fielding's done by Tim David down on the boundary. And at the end of the 9th over, New Zealand 84 for 3, with Tim Robinson bringing up that half century just a few moments ago.
Sort of feel as though Mitch Marsh now will ring the changes. He'll keep mixing it up a little bit. He'll stick with his true and tested Adam Zampa, because I know how much of a wicket taker he can be. Have a feeling though from the far end they may look to mix it up a little bit. I thought at one stage that at 3 for 6 that if New Zealand can get through to 150, now I'm sure they'll have the eyes on closer to that 200 mark if these two can keep going a little bit longer.
Daryl Mitchell's on 27, and he's waiting for the right arm leg spin of Adam Zampa. Ball is slow, and Mitchell tries to swing the ball, and in fact it's been wided by Sean Haig at the Papamoa Hills end, and New Zealand will take the sundry. 85 for 3.
Look at bewilderment from Adam Zampa as well. He said, look, I've just done him in the air and you've widened me. It was pretty wide, so it was perhaps a fair call.
Zampa in again. This is straight and driven hard by Mitchell. That short only has to take a couple of steps to his right down at long off to cut it off, and they get through for 1. New Zealand 86 for 3 with Mitchell to 28.
You watch Adam Zampa now mix up his pace. He's had a look at Tim Robinson for 4 or 5 deliveries of the last over. He'll mix up his pace a lot. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes to that quicker, flatter one.
Third man and fine leg up inside the ring. It's full from Zampa, but it's played square by Robinson. Again, what Chris Harris referring to there, the change of pace from Zampa, forced on the offside for 1. 87 for 3 New Zealand.
You also look at the line he's now bowling. He's decided that if they're going to take him on, they want to take him on to the big boundary and hit into the wind. So he's bowling at least a foot outside off stump and saying, if you want to fetch me, that's fine, but I'm going to make you hit to the long boundary into the wind.
Zampa into Mitchell, and Mitchell tries to take him on. Those 3 players on the onside. Scampered through for 1, and then he's lost his feet at the non-striker's end as he thought about a second. So it's just the 1 to Mitchell. He's 29. It's 88 for 3.
It's not the first time we've seen that. I think that's the second occasion where Mitchell's fallen over. So I'm not sure if it's where he's actually running or if his spikes aren't quite long enough, but it has happened on a few occasions, and it has cost New Zealand a couple of extra runs.
Partnership is worth 82 from 47 deliveries as Zampa is in. It's short, and Robinson has tried to get under it and heave it on that onside. No timing down to Tim David, just at wideish mid-on. They get 1. 89 for 3. Robinson to 52.
Again, Zampa just mixing up his pace. That was shorter but quicker. So it skidded on to Robinson, almost hurried on. That one was at 100 Ks, and he normally bowls in the high 80s to low 90s.
After conceding 6 off his first delivery, he's now conceded 14 from almost 2 overs. It's Fuller, and Mitchell's driving hard down the ground, and that'll be 4. Terrific shot from Daryl Mitchell. It was Fuller, got into the front foot and punched it hard down the ground, dissected the 2 players at mid-off and mid-on into the fence for 4. It's 93 for 3.
A wonderful batting. It's what Daryl Mitchell does beautifully against slow bowling or spin bowling. Looks to target the straight boundaries in the air and along the ground, and that was hit with such force, gave mid-on and mid-off no chance.
Another big barrel boundary, bigger range, bigger deals off the bat of Daryl Mitchell. 93 for 3 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. Who will Zampa again, and Mitchell can't reach that delivery, which was a bit like the very first ball of the over. This time the umpire's arms stay down, and that ends the 10th over of the New Zealand innings. They were asked to bat by Mitchell Marsh. They slumped to 6 runs for 3 wickets inside 2 overs. But what a fight back from New Zealand. And after 10, they're now 93 for 3. Partnership of 87 between Tim Robinson, who's on 52, and Daryl Mitchell, who's on 33. So we have a game on our hands here in the opening Chappell-Hadlee. It is drinks at Bay Oval.
Celebrate these hot deals only at Big Barrel. Hennessy VS Cognac 700ml, $64.99. Buffalo Trace Bourbon or Sailor Jerry Spiced Rum 700ml, $54.99. Absolute Plain or Beefeater 1 litre, $52.99.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store.
Time for a drink. It's the drinks break on Sport Nation Cricket.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
This is Kyle Jameson. Download the Sport Nation app right now and catch all the action as the Black Caps take on Australia, England, South Africa and the West Indies this summer.
Since the 1970s, Roundup's seen it all in the Kiwi backyard. The paisley prints, the short shorts, the backyard cricket, the conversations with the lawnmower, the barbies, and the outdoor lifestyle we still love today. We've been helping Kiwis keep weeds down year after year with a product for every job, from paths and lawns to those hard-to-kill weeds. Roundup makes it simple. Roundup, part of Kiwi backyards since 1976. To banish weeds now, reach for the Roundup.
Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation coming to you live from Bay Oval. Mount Maunganui, the first of 3 T20 internationals for the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy between New Zealand and Australia. And what a topsy-turvy opening 10 overs to the summer we have had. New Zealand top order obliterated inside 10 balls. They'd lost 3 wickets for 6, but since then a brilliant partnership between Tim Robinson, who's 52 off 33, and Daryl Mitchell, who's 33 off 21. It's put them in pretty good position at the turn. 10 overs of their 20 have been bowled, and it will be short, the off-spinner, to continue. And the first runs after the drinks break as the ball is poked out through cover. They'll come back for 2. Excellent running. And yes, Robinson will end up in the highlights playing some full-blooded strokes, but he's a good athlete, gets between the wickets quickly. Hello, Harry. Good to see you.
Hello, Daniel. I've been so impressed with Tim Robinson. He had to absorb quite a lot of pressure at the start of his innings. Just did well to keep the Australians out. And since, after about 4 overs, he's been absolute belligerent. Some of those shots, magnificent.
Short, the off-spinner bowls straight into his pads, nudged up through mid-on, sprints off quickly to Robinson. It's too long on too quickly. David, powerful arm back on the bounce to Keary behind the wicket. Just 1 run, 96 for the loss of 3. He was 6 off 11 balls, Harry. He was 6 off 11 balls just to that point. He had to soak up a bit of pressure, and since then, well, what's that, 49 off his next 24? I think that's okay.
Well, that's what's impressive, because he absorbed that pressure and then he made them pay.
Shaw goes leg side, looking to sweep. Is it past Mitchell? It's towards short fine leg. We look to the umpire, And a run, obviously hitting glove or bat. Another single for Mitchell. He's 34 of 22 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. New Zealand 97 for the loss of 3.
And as you know in this format, Daniel, if you use up, it'll absorb pressure or use up deliveries, you've then got to make them pay at a later date, and he's done that beautifully.
He backs away outside of leg and hits straight back past the bowler, through his hands, in fact. That is a chance. It's a sharp one, but it's been put down by the off-spinner. Robinson gets a single, 98 for the loss of 3.
Yeah, it's a tough chance. It's hit with so much power. He's sort of just got his hands up and it's deflected and it's gone down to long off. Just a couple of bounces, it was hit that hard. Daryl Mitchell's also been very good. But you'd expect that from Daryl Mitchell. Season campaigner now in this format particularly.
Again, outside of leg stump, hitting high, long, straight and true, is it? Not long enough. David around, takes the catch right on the boundary rope. Sort of slightly into the breeze as he dragged it onside, and Mitchell goes for 34, 98 for the loss of 4.
It's unfortunate because it's right in Daryl Mitchell's hitting zone. He'll be disappointed. Just didn't quite hit the middle of the bat. Decent sized boundaries here at Bay Oval. And you know, Tim David, he's got a good pair of hands. Took it about a metre from the boundary rope at long on. And Daryl Mitchell's good innings of 34 comes to an end. Very, very good partnership between these two. Have set a platform.
Yeah, great partnership. Came together, New Zealand reeling, and now they've added 92 runs off 55 balls before the partnership has been broken. Now 98 for the loss of 4 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. Harvey Norman TV deals. And we're going to see a player a lot of New Zealand have been looking forward to seeing in a bit more detail, of course, Mr. Bradley John Jacobs. Powerful, powerful right-handed hitter. Chisel, looks like he's been going to the same gym as you, Harry.
I think he's doing, if he is, he's doing slightly heavier weights than me, Daniel. Yeah, he's a very powerful hitter. He's sort of probably New Zealand's equivalent to Tim David. Very strong hitter of the ball. Just hope he gives himself a chance to get in. And then we get to see how powerful he can be a little bit later in the innings.
Tall right-hander waits, gets a run, backward a square, just turning the face of the bat with the spin from the off-break bowler. 99 for the loss of 4. That is the end of the 11th over. My education allows me to tell you the run rate is at 9 exactly. Fine. You'd say, what, a counter-attack from New Zealand at 6 for the loss of 3. Then it was 8 for the loss of 3 at the end of the second over. Well, in the next 5 overs, Harry, they got 7, 14, 5, 15 and 15. And, well, at 64 for 3 after 7 overs, they were probably slightly ahead of the play.
It's been a wonderful fight back. I'm just almost more excited about the fact that you know you're 11 times table. I think that's fantastic.
11 times 11?
A lot. Are you asking me now?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. 121?
Well done, of course he does.
It's a bit of a bonus for Australia, though, Matt Short. I'm sure Matt Short was one of those bowlers that New Zealand would have been targeting. That they'd say, look, he could bowl a couple of overs, bit of a part-time, we're going to go after him. So it'll be a bonus that he's picked up a wicket and bowled pretty well.
He's bowling the Glenn Maxwell overs, is he? Here's Stoinis from over the wicket, the right-arm medium-fast bowler, nice and straight, pushed up towards mid-off, running with the stroke is Jacobs. He'll get his second run. The 100 is up for New Zealand, 100 for the loss of 4 in the 12th over. Son of Cricket on Sport Nation.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Are you looking for a new home to bet on your favourite sports like the NRL, football, or the UFC? Bet is giving new customers $100 in bonus cash when you sign up and deposit $25. Download the Betcha app today. Max bonus $100. T's and C's apply. R18. Bet responsibly.
Nothing like between ball ads. 101 for the loss of 4. Our apologies for that. You ever missed anything? Except for a wide. It's just been bowled, just creeping outside that line that indicates the wide line on the offside, and Stoinis will have to go back to the top of his mark. Wind bustling that lovely mane of his, Harry. Don't be jealous. 101 for the loss of 4. Attempt to drive, drag, very straight, just past the stumps at the non-striker's end. Around comes David, a single, 102 for 4 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard.
And I was trying to signal to him we're playing an ad, so just hold on. He said, I'll just bowl a wide. It's okay. I was actually going to say that first run off the first ball from Jacobs, it was such a well-judged run. There was a cover, a mid-off, and the bowler, and they were all trying to get to the ball, and there wasn't much of a gap. And he just timed it beautifully, just enough to get through for 1.
Stoinis into a second over, none for 18 from over the wicket. He bowls short, good bouncer too. No, it's too high, according to the square leg umpire. What do I know? Add another one to the total. It's 103 for the loss of 4. Smithy and I were talking about it. How big the Australians are. You know, it's like watching New South Wales State of Origin team in the 90s against Queensland. Remember, it was like little v large. It's a very big men. They're all like Paul Harrigan.
They actually all are. I mean, even if you look at the New Zealand side, they're massive as well.
There's Siren in it long on. Some names.
It's amazing how many people come up to you and go, oh, you're a lot taller than I thought. If you look at them now, I mean, the average height of the New Zealand side would be 6'3", 6'4".
Stoinis, another tall, powerful man. Wide, full toss, hammered away through point. Can't bowl there, Marcus. Naughty boy, 107 for the loss of 4. Jacobs with his first big barrel boundary. He's 6 off 3. The run rate, 9.3.
Always easy to be critical up here, but my one criticism of Marcus Stoinis is I think he's a better bowler than he gives himself credit. And he almost tries to bowl a different variation every delivery. And his argument will be he's trying to keep the batsman thinking, but he's bowled a slower ball bouncer. There's been a slower ball, a quicker Yorker. I think he's got to bowl more stock deliveries and then just mix it up rather than try and mix it up every delivery.
Halfway through the second over from the Pipamore Hills end, he bowls back of a length outside of an off stump. See, that's old-fashioned, line and length, and it's worked. He's conceded just a single, 108 for the loss of 4.
Yeah, I know you've got to mix it up. I just think he does it a little bit too much. It was a beautiful shot from Robinson, though, but it was a full toss. And just the timing, the confidence he's gained in this innings, that was just beautifully timed. And there's a deep point and a deep third man. They didn't move.
Your text, welcome to us, 8833. The Sport Nation Summer of Cricket commentary team loves your contribution. Slower, wider of off stump, waiting was Robinson, then slapping the ball away through the covers. Got one, strong arm in from the deep. Won't be in time. Robinson hurries back, moving to 59 off 38. It's 110 for the loss of 4.
It's another part of this game that I love is the running between the wickets. And even if you don't scamper back for 2, it's just the intent that you're trying to. And you can just feel as though the Black Caps now are trying to put pressure back on New Zealand. If the boundaries aren't coming, at least with their running between the wickets. And you just feel as though at this stage they're winning that battle.
Stoinis goes wide Yorker, very well bowled, reaching for the ball was Robinson, got the bat down, creeps into the offside. There will be a single. That will be the end of the 12th over. 8 overs remaining. New Zealand sent in 111 for 4.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Bunnings Trade is here to help you get indoor projects sorted with 134 Trade. For stock queries, order and delivery updates, quick quotes and pricing, or general inquiries, call the team on 0800 134 872. Bunnings Trade, helping business is our trade.
Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. Great to have your company. First game of 3, Chappell-Hadlee up for grabs. 12 overs in, 111 for the loss of 4. Harry, it's that awful time when the ball-by-ball commentator asks you to make a prediction on the score. What's a good score? Zampas switching ends. None for 18 off his 2. Now from the Mount Maunganui end, he bowls full outside of off-stump, driving. Seen the ball go through the point region for a single. 112 for the loss of 4. Robinson, 61 off 40.
No, I think it's a fair request. I mean, I think if you take probably T20 cricket in recent times, you're looking at minimum 10 and over from here. That's 80. So that gives you 190. So New Zealand will certainly be looking for that 200 mark.
So about average in modern day T20 cricket.
Pretty much. Well, considering when you consider we were 3 for 6.
That's a great score.
I think we'd have chosen both your arms off if you said we can get to 200.
Jacobs, open starts. Crouches quite low and then trying to force the ball from the top of the bounce outside of off stump. Goes slowly to cover, no run.
So good, Sampa. At any stage of the game, just mixes his pace up so well.
runs off the bat of the right-hander, going back and powerfully working it through point for a single. 113 for the loss of 4. Jacobs to 8. Zampa none for 20 halfway through his third over, and his first ball was a long hop. Sailed high and over deep square leg off the bat of Robinson. It was an enormous hit. One loosener, and he's back into it. One with the glasses on. This one grips and spins. Doesn't bounce enough to get past the outside edge of an advancing Robinson. Gets a run through cover, 114 for 4.
Yeah, this is where Zampa is so good. Australia will be absolutely happy to give up a run just off every ball here. And Zampa mixing up his pace, making it difficult for New Zealand to pierce any gaps or find the boundary.
Always thought it would turn in October. Always thought that, Harry. Off the back foot, dragged to the onside by Jacobs. Just one, really push hard that first one, 115 for 4.
Well, the average score here in T20 cricket in 2025 was 220. And you'd argue that this year...
It's the average.
The average score. And it looks as though this wicket's going to play very similar to last year's performance.
Last ball of the Zampa over. Dragged down, but he might get rewards here. He has. It's dropped at short third man. Head diving away to his right. He got there in plenty of time, looking to smack the ball off the back foot forward of point. It's hit high and ballooned away to short third man, and Travis Head has just put it down. That is the end of the over, and New Zealand will be thankful. Just 4 down. Just trying to wait to get a replay of this one, Harry.
It's a poor effort. The fielder of Travis Head's ability should have caught that. It wasn't that difficult because it lobbed. He's just looking up and perhaps looking at the lights, but yeah, there was an opportunity that he'd expect to catch probably 98 times out of 100. And what's more important, it was the in-man Robinson as well. So that could be key.
Zampa, brilliant over. 5 runs off it, including that. Should really have been 4 and a wicket. Harry, you were splendid in the field. Travis Head was not on this occasion.
No, he was just a little bit slow, but he still got there comfortably. And I don't know how he's dropped it because, as I said, he's generally got a good pair of hands and he's good in the field. That's a big let-off.
Dorshish back into the attack. Here's 2 for 18 off his 2. Left arm quick from over the wicket. Straight on the money. Full, looking for Yorker length. Hard to get elevation. Driven up towards mid-off. A single off the bat of Robinson. He's 64. It's 117 for the loss of 4 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Not sure if it's because of the wind, but we didn't see much swing from Dorshish either. He's normally swings it a long way back into the right-hander. I'm not sure if it's because of the blustery conditions or perhaps the cool temperatures, but there hasn't been a lot of swing on display tonight. I'm sure New Zealand will be hoping that later on in the evening it might start swinging, because this is a terrific batting surface.
Dorshish again over the wicket and going past the outside edge. Rather awkward looking stroke from Jacobs. Feet nowhere and tried to hit through the line, just played down the wrong line. Through to the keeper.
He's a powerful man, generally stands tall, and length balls looks to crash down the ground. But if he gets one in the zone, hits it as far as anybody. He's got to give himself a chance to get in.
Message here on 8833. Enjoying this coverage more than I will enjoy the NRL Grand Final from a neutral fan. I have a feeling you're not that neutral. That's very straight, well bowled. Little cutter from the left arm, quick. Rolling the fingers over, and Jacobs had to wait. He defends, no run. 117 for 4 it remains.
You're just always thinking, you can see Dorshish had bowled a dot ball. All of a sudden there's changes to the field. He's thinking about what his next delivery is going to bring. He's bringing in his wide third man up inside the boundary. And another one goes out to a straighter cover. So I have a feeling as mid-off comes back, could be another variation, another slower ball.
Towel out the back of the pants, flapping around from over the wicket, back of a length, cramping up the right-handed Jacobs. He's got a run. He's lost the towel in his follow-through. Throw the ball into the towel, give us 5. 118 for the loss of 4.
I thought he was throwing the towel in.
He's had enough. Bugger this New Zealand Westerly. I'm going home.
It wasn't that big a shot. He only got 1 from it. Don't throw the towel in.
There's nothing wrong with the conditions here. Fans wandering around in big, thick jackets with a howling westerly breeze. It's cricket to a Wellingtonian. Harry shakes his head. 118 for the loss of 4. 2 balls remaining in the 14th over. This is sweetly struck down the ground. Half volley crunched. Love it. Doesn't try to overhit it. Robinson 68 off 44. A big barrel boundary, bigger range, bigger deals.
Yeah, that's Robinson at his best. As you said, just got into a good position. When he doesn't try and overhit the ball, he hits it so hard anyway. He doesn't have to. Just in a good position, a good stable base. Hits down the ground, over the bowler, past mid-off for 4. Wonderful batting. Such an important innings this has been for New Zealand. He's raced to 68.
Dorshus at the top of his mark. Big thick tash as he's in past the umpire. Short, hit towards deep mid-wicket on the bounce to the advancing Matt Short. Dragged it down, hit to the onside. Luckily didn't hit it all that sweetly. The end of another effective over, just 7 runs off it. Australia have pulled this back nicely, Harry. It's now under 9 runs and over. 14 gone, 123 for 4.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Go! Get your bet on with TAB's Same Game Multi. Fast, easy multis now across more sporting codes and markets than ever before. Use team form and recent stats to back smarter bets. Still not sure? See what's trending with popular Same Game Multi. R18, bet responsibly.
Zampa starts the 15th over. And the right-hander Robinson clubs him again through the cover side with the horizontal bat for a single. He moves to 70, 124 for the loss of 4.
You put me on the spot, Daniel. I think New Zealand will be hoping for 200. What do you think Australia will be hoping to keep New Zealand to?
180.
Love it.
Yeah.
So we'll probably score 190.
Australians, let's be honest, they're probably thinking 150. It's just the way they're built. 124 for the loss of 4. Zampa. This is a really... He's so important, isn't he? Like, he went for a 6 first ball. He concedes another single here. 125 for the loss of 4. He's got the odd one to turn. He's just hurried them onto the right-handers, as he always has. Now his figures look pretty good at none for 25 off 3.2.
I don't mind this from New Zealand. They know how important he is. And I think if he can go wicketless and they get at least one, perhaps a couple of balls that go for 2.
He'll bowl wicket to wicket. Should have a stumping here. It's been missed by the batsman first. Past the inside edge, was it? Oh, now there's a hint of a run out because Robinson has slipped at the non-striker's end. Jacobs had come down a long way, has to go back. In fact, the umpire has signalled byes. And that's just the top spin. It's gone past the inside edge and past the gloves of the keeper.
Almost looked like a clip leg stump. You were absolutely right. Shouldn't have doubted you called it beautifully. He's just missed one there. It's Carey. Robinson's come down the wicket. It's gone between bat and pad. Just skidded on. And it's done Carey for pace as well. And that's just what we're talking about. He's so dangerous, Zampa. Doesn't look as though there's much happening. And all of a sudden, through your wicket.
He's got the clear glasses on as if he's in the woodwork shop, ready to go.
Or surgery.
The safety glasses. 126 for the loss of 4. Oh, they've gone upstairs. What have they gone upstairs for, Harry?
To the umpire director, you got me there?
LBW?
We have a umpire view for a run out.
Oh, for the run out.
Oh, right.
Yes.
The run out, of course.
The one that you called, but we thought he got back comfortably, which he has.
Wow, in fairness, Harry, the bat's not past the stumps.
No, there's been quite a few rule changes. Perhaps
I'm going to get you to try to explain the catching the ball whilst out of the field of play, landing back into the field of play rule. The lawyers have written those rules, haven't they? From over the wicket, hurrying on, getting past the inside edge into the pad, deviating to short third man, a leg by, 127 for the loss of 4.
To be fair, to explain those rules, we're going to need a very much longer format.
I sense a video. Harry trying to explain the new law.
There'd be lots of jumping around, wouldn't there?
Well, you're the only one who could pull it off, Harry.
Oh, thanks, Daniel. It's like you're 11 times stable.
Ugly looking stroke from Robinson, trying to thrash the ball, gets a thick inside edge, goes towards short third, finally, rather for a single. And Zampa has 1 ball remaining. The googly, as we check the replay, sort of surprising the right-hander.
It's an important ball, this. I think if we can keep him wicketless, that's a good job.
The leg spinner, none for 26. Last ball of his 4 over spell. He's hit uppishly through mid-off, but safely down towards long off for a single. The end of the over. 5 overs remaining on the other side. Tom Bartlett, Ian Smith, New Zealand 129 for the loss of 4.
When it comes to New Zealand sports turf, nobody knows it better than PGG Wrights and Turf. They've been in the industry for over 40 years, proudly supplying customers right across the country, from stadiums to councils, golf courses to racetracks, even through to revegetation and erosion control. Their highly skilled team are well equipped in every aspect of turf and environmental markets. So, for your next turf project, talk to New Zealand's experts. PGGWrightsandTurf.com.
129 for 4 is the New Zealand score. There are 5 overs left in the innings. Just joining us, Mitch Marsh won the toss, asked New Zealand to bat. And after 1.4 overs, New Zealand was 6 for 3. Conway was gone, Seifert was gone, Mark Chapman was gone. Big partnership between Daryl Mitchell and Tim Robinson got New Zealand back into the contest. Robinson's 71. Bevan Jacobs is out there with him. He's on 12. And it's Xavier Bartlett who's taking up the attack in the 16th over. He's bowling to the right-handed Robinson, who's hitting with power, and he's gone through the fielder at extra cover. There's a player, Stoinis, who's come across from long off to do the fielding, and they will get back for 2 when they probably should have got nothing. 131 for 4. Hello, Smithy.
Well, the captain can't blame anyone for that because it's gone straight through the legs of Mitchell Marsh, who usually is very, very good behind those. I've learnt one thing about Daniel McHardy, though, while I've been standing out the back listening to him describing batting against Adam Zampa. I think Daniel McHardy would be one of the best players I've ever seen of spin bowling, leg spin bowling, in slow motion replays.
Jacobs, full delivery, swings and misses. It's through to Kerry, 131 for 4.
I'm
holding off my giggle.
I like the way he calls it out the window and calls it off the monitor, and then he looks at the slow. Googly, yes, I
know. Oh, dear. Very good, Smithy. Very good. I'm glad you brought that up nice and early. Well, they won't have to face any more googlies or whatever it is Adam Zampa's going to be bowling, because he's bowled his 4 overs. 4 overs, not for 27. Bartlett continuing. Right arm over the wicket. Full delivery this time to Jacobs. Chips it through mid-wicket. Heading out towards the player on the fence who's scampering in. That's Matt Short. Collects it and fires it back to Kerry. And they are restricted to 1. It's 132 for 4. Robinson 71. Bevan Jacobs on 15. New Zealand running at 8.52.
As well as they've done, New Zealand, to get out of the hole that they were in, they still have to do more. They have to be hungrier now. They have to try and get this up around about the 190 to 200 mark if they can, which is going to take some very big hitting. Just looking at Bevan Jacobs, haven't seen a lot of him. I think he prefers pace on. I think he battled a wee bit against Zampa in the slower bowling, but I think he likes pace on the ball.
At the non-striker's end at the moment is Robinson gets himself into a real tangle. Somehow he's managed to get it down towards fine leg. Player in pursuit. Collects, turns and throws it back to Kerry. And Robinson gets back for 2 runs. A little ungamely there, but 2 nonetheless for New Zealand and Tim Robinson.
Somehow, Tom, he's got that behind square from about a foot inside the pitch on the offside. I mean, it was a nice piece of adjustment in the bowling side of things. But actually played it pretty well to get 2 from there.
Ball was quite high too to get the bat up and over. Bartlett into him again. This one's on the pads. Flicks it with power, but deep mid-wicket. Intercepts before it hits the rope. Short, and it's 1 more. 135 for 4 with Jacobs 15.
Every delivery that doesn't go to the fence now is a win for Australia. That's what they're trying to do now. Cut off the big. They'll handle the 1s, the 2s. I don't mind going for 10 and over here. And that'll restrict it quite nicely. But it's the big ones, it's the 4s, the 6s they're going to go. New Zealand have got to hunt for.
Just the 6 so far off the 16th over from Xavier Bartlett. Bowls. It's full and driven down the ground by Jacobs. But he's only going to get 1. Marcus Stoinis cuts it off, throws it back in, and that ends the 16th over. New Zealand batting first here in the first Chappell-Hadlee T20 International. They are 136 for 4.
Big battle, you local liquor store.
Hawke's
Moss Bay Brewing Co. Peach or Berry Bomb, Ginger or Lemon Fusion 4-pack cans, $17.99. Long White 10-pack bottles range, a hot 2 for $55. Tiger Ultra 12-pack cans, $23.99.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store.
4 overs left in the New Zealand innings here at Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. 136 for 4 is the score. Last 4 overs, 5, 7, 6, 7 runs scored. New Zealand just in a little bit of a pattern here. First ball of the 17th, Matt Short into the attack. And it's swatted with power down the ground by Jacobs, but just for 137 for 4.
And I think Mitchell Marsh has picked up on that off Bevan Jacobs, so he's decided he'll keep going with spin, slower bowling.
Robinson, top scoring in this New Zealand innings, 74 from 50. He's on strike. Short bowls him. He comes down at short, tries to heave it up over the top. Dive from the player, going back from inside the circle at backward point. Travis Head. Ball has gone down, and New Zealand will get back for 2. Travis Head, the second one he's put down, Ian Smith.
Well, I've seen him take some wonderful catches. He's a bit of a miracle fielder at times. Travis Head won in a World Cup final, I think, comes tonight when he got rid of, I think, Rohit Sharma. The magnificent catch at point running backwards. Very, very similar to that. Couldn't hold on to it.
Bowls again this time, and Robinson's heaved this one down the ground. Hasn't got enough on it, and it's been taken by Tim David down at long on. So Tim Robinson's very good innings comes to an end. He's been told to hold. He's not walking off the field, Smithy. So as Tim David said, he hasn't taken it cleanly. Umpires coming together. Slightly confusing because Tim Robinson was heading off and I'd put him in the shed as well.
Well, I don't know either. Sometimes it's hard to tell towards the end of an innings because, you know, the fielders don't run in like they used to because they're conscious of the time and that sort of thing, so they don't run in. It's a very basic drop if he hasn't taken it, I can tell you that. He's fumbled it initially and dumped it. Bad miss.
The ball's clearly on the ground. Ready to make my decision for the screen.
Tim David down at long on has shelled one that he should have taken. He's a good fielder. He's a good athlete, Tim David. Very uncharacteristic, but he's given Robinson a life. He gets 1. He's 77. New Zealand 140 for 4. Jacobs now on strike. First delivery to him. Down the leg side. Can't catch up with it. And they have scampered through for a single with a wide also signalled by Chris Brown. 142 for 4.
A little bit shoddy, haven't they been in this over? Drop catch by Travis Head. Drop catch by Tim David. Wide down the leg side. Helping New Zealand out somewhat.
Can they make them pay? Short and again. Length. And hit high over mid-wicket. Into the breeze. But the breeze won't hold that one up. It's into the grandstand. Into the embankment rather. 6 runs from Tim Robinson and New Zealand are 148 for 4.
Well, that's 6 already that Tim David will feel a bit sick about because Tim Robinson has nailed that one into the breeze, as you say, Tom, and he's got plenty of that, about 30 yards over the rope, which means into that breeze. He's hit it and timed it to perfection. That's what they need, New Zealand, the big numbers.
Tim Robinson, 83, his highest score in T20 internationals now tonight. Short bowls to him, and he's at the bowler again. It's an inside edge. It flies to the short, fine leg. Cuts it off, but they scamper through for 1. Robinson, 84. It's 149 for 4.
Just feel 2 or 3 big overs now. It just has to happen for New Zealand. It'll be a miracle recovery from them to get out of this.
12 from the over so far, and it's forced this one square by Jacobs. Run the first one hard, and they're going to go on the throw too as it comes back into Carey, removes the bails, but good running from the New Zealand pair. Jacobs picks up 2 to end the over. 14 off the Matt Short over, and after 17, New Zealand 151 for 4. Robinson 84, Jacobs 19.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Bunnings Trade is here to help you get indoor projects sorted. We've got great value on brands like Philips, Knauf, Flexi Storage and PPG. So head in store or online and grab what you need to get your indoor projects done. Bunnings Trade, helping business is our trade.
3 overs left in the New Zealand innings. This is the first Chappell-Hadlee T20 International, coming to you live from Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. New Zealand 151 for 4. Tim Robinson on 84. And Australia's Josh Hazlewood back to complete his 4th over. First ball is full and wide outside the off stump. I think Tim Robinson thought that was going to be a wide. It's not, and it's a dot ball for Hazlewood.
Very close. Very, very close to a wide. I've got to say, benefit of the doubt going the bowler's way. And I don't mind that every now and then. It's not really a bowler's game. They get bashed to all parts. The leg side width has become even more narrow than it was, if that was possible. Their margin for error is so small. They put it anywhere straight and they're gone. It's such a hard job to bowl in these conditions.
Wily old Fox's Hazlewood. He repeats the dose. And it's the same result. 151 for 4 it remains.
Yeah, if I'm really looking at that one with a microscope, I'm saying as an umpire, that's your second one I'm going to get you for that one, because I believe that's outside the line. Just over the top of it. Boy, that's fine. I mean, if he's doing that, Hazlewood, on purpose, he is a genius, and he is a genius. That is pinpoint accurate.
We have seen it time and time again from Josh Hazlewood. Tremendous bowler. Robinson waits again. This one is closer in, and Robinson gets under it, scoops it down the ground, but Stoinis moving to his left. They're coming back for the second. Robinson's going to have to go. Throw just a little bit off from Stoinis allowed Robinson to get back for 2. He's 86, 153 for 4.
Wouldn't it be great if Robinson got 100? Wouldn't it be absolutely fantastic? I'm not sure he was in the side this time yesterday when Rachin Ravindra had that terrible accident. Robinson may not have been a factor. Don't know. But if this is a bonus chance for him, he certainly has taken it well.
153 for 4, midway through the 18th over. Hazlewood bowls to him, and he throws a bat at it. He's got a lot of piece of that, and it's flowing down over the top of the slip and down to the boundary for 4 runs. He's at to 90. 157 for 4 New Zealand.
Well, he looks frustrated, Josh Hazlewood, but he shouldn't really be, because his field set is not for that length of bowling that wide of off stump. He's got 2 men behind point on the offside, on the rim of the circle, the inner circle that is, but they're not there for that wide delivery and that length of delivery, because you just throw the kitchen sink at it. You're very unlucky to get out.
Third man and fine leg, and almost a fly slip inside the ring. This one's guided square by the right-handed Robinson, but the sweeper cuts it off on the bounce and restricts the scoring to 1. Robinson 91. New Zealand 158 for 4 with 1 ball left in this Hazlewood over, which has cost him just 7.
So 12 plus 1, 13 deliveries now. If New Zealand can get 4 or 5 boundaries in that, maybe 6 boundaries in that, that'll get them up around about 185, 190. Bare minimum, I feel.
Hazlewood, last ball of his spell, full, driven. He can't pierce that field behind square on the offside, and it's a dot ball. So very good finish from Josh Hazlewood. 4 overs, 1 for 23, his figures. And after 18 at Bay Oval, New Zealand 158 for 4. Robinson 91 and Jacobs 19.
Blonde 24-pack cans, $42.99. Heineken 24-pack bottles, a hot 2 for $90. Voldoro, Tawny or Ruby Port, any 2 for $60. Maloney's Irish Cream 700ml, a hot 2 for $32.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store.
This is the first Chappell-Hadlee T20 International between New Zealand and Australia, coming to you from Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. 158 for 4 is the New Zealand score. There are 2 overs left in the innings. Bartlett is going to bowl one of them. He's bowling to Robinson, and Robinson gets a full one, heaves it to cover, but the fielder who's on the inner ring cuts it off, and they get 1 and 1 only. 159 for 4.
It may well be the 1st of October, but it doesn't really feel like the first game of the season, because of the quality of the cricket has been fantastic at times. Australia's really cool start with their accurate and pin New Zealand down. The fight back from New Zealand from a side that's really been playing in the nets and open wicket practice amongst themselves with maybe some club bowlers. This is quite a comeback.
Jacobs waits for the right arm fast of Bartlett, driven down the ground, this time through mid-on. They want two, and again, Jacobs loses his feet at the non-striker's end, and they only get 160 for 4.
Problem with the running between the wickets, of course, is because it's the 1st of October, the rest of the block, apart from the pitch they're using on, is lush and green and slippery. And so when you run off the pitch surface, which they ask you to do, you're running on ice at times almost.
Yeah, the block resembling the drop-in pitch scenario we often get at grounds like Eden Park as Bartlett bowls. This is short, and Robinson tries to sort of get under it and lift it up over the top of fine leg and makes no contact through to Alex Carey. 160 for 4.
And then, of course, Robinson, having played and missed, goes back to the shot or rehearses the shot he perhaps should have played. He looked like he wanted to scoop that almost, but it was there to hit as just a genuine short pitch delivery. Could have picked anywhere on the onside to put that.
9 legitimate deliveries left in this New Zealand innings. 160 for 4 is the score. It's a good over so far from Bartlett. It's a Yorker and it's dug out, and in fact it's dug out really well by Robinson. It's heading down towards the fine leg boundary. It's just cut off by the diving fielder. They'll get back for 2. Throw at the stumps at the striker's end. The stumps have been disturbed by Alex Carey. I'm sure we're going upstairs because Jacobs came back for the 3rd, and the Australians, they look quite confident here, Ian Smith.
Well, a heck of a relay piece of fielding out in the deep. Marcus Stoinis is the chaser initially, and he's supported by Travis Head. He actually flicked this back around behind his body, straight to Travis Head. I don't think New Zealand quite picked up on the fact that this was done so well and so quickly. This is an ingenious piece of work between his legs, in fact. And Travis Head then rifles it in. I think he's okay because the Australians aren't that overjoyed about the possibility of a run out, but it was pretty damn close.
Okay, can you throw that back?
Looking at a television replay, Carey breaks the stumps.
Thank you.
Jacobs at full stretch. And there's not much in this.
The more you slow it down, the more is it. That's out. That could be out. It could be out. The bat might be behind the Australians.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's out.
Short of the ground and in the air, bails are lifted.
Jacobs will be gone, I think. Brilliant out cricket. Absolutely brilliant out cricket.
Jacobs gets the OUT on the big screen at Bay Oval. And his innings comes to an end, trying to get back for the 3rd. He's run out for 20. Good innings from Jacobs, just couldn't quite get it moving towards the back end of it. But a brilliant bit of fielding from Marcus Stoinis and Travis Head. The relay throw right over the bails for Alex Carey. Didn't have to do much to it. And Jacobs was short. It's 160 for 5 now.
Where there are a lot of kids at this ground. And there's a classic example of never giving up in the outfield. It was beautifully worked by Stoinis and Travis Head, 2 very experienced cricketers. And the throw was brilliant. The fact that confused us was that Alex Carey caught the ball, took the bails off, and then fired it at the other end to see if he could get it almost like a double play situation. But he was out all right. Handy innings from Jacobs without being devastating.
Good support to Tim Robinson, who's still there on 94, and the New Zealand captain for the series, Michael Bracewell, has headed out into the middle to join him with 8 legitimate deliveries left in this innings. 162 for 5's the score. And Bracewell, Smithy, is more than capable of sending it over the rope.
Oh, yes, yeah. He is. He's very strong. They call him the Beast. We've got the Beast captaining one side and the Bison the other side.
Here's Bartlett bowling to Bracewell. He's off the mark straight away because it beats the Bison, who's in it close cover. Scampering around there to do the fielding on the fence, firing it back as to the wicket-keeper. And Bracewell's off the mark with 2. 162 for the loss. 164 for the loss of 5, rather.
Used to be a small person's game. All the great players were small, like Tendulkar and Bradman and Ponting and Border, all little fellas, you know. They were brilliant players. But the advent of this form of the game where it's all about power and hitting it a long, long way, it's for the big men.
Great over this so far from Bartlett. Can he get out of it? Just 3 bowls to Beast Bracewell, who heaves this one to wideish mid-on. They're coming back for the 2nd, and they're going to get back for the 2 as well. Running to the danger end was Robinson at the non-striker's end. And that ends a very good over from Xavier Bartlett. There was a wicket in it, but just 5 runs off that over. 19 have been bowled at Bay Oval. 164 for 5 is the score.
Right, what can New Zealand manufacture from here? They need a 20 if they can. Get it up to around about 180 odd and then ask Australia to get 9 and over. Thought Bartlett was handy. Thought the bowling attack has been pretty good actually, to be perfectly honest. Got collared early on with the partnership between Mitchell and Robinson, but that was just purely good batting. Not a heck of a lot wrong with the bowling. And now it's Dorsius to bowl the last, left armour.
Took 2 wickets in his first over, Dorsius. And he's got Tim Robinson, who's at the striker's end. He's on 92, his top score in T20 internationals. 8 more for 100. 166 for 5 as the last over begins. It's a slow delivery from Dorsius, and all Robinson can do is tap it behind point, loses his footing at the non-striker's end, so can't get back for 2. It's just 1. It's 167 for 5 New Zealand.
That's the first thing the Australian batters will note. Don't run off the pitch. Run on the extremities of the cut surface and you won't have as many problems as the New Zealanders have. They're certainly looking for a second there, which was possibly on to get Robinson back on strike. Everyone at the ground, we're a New Zealand fan anyway, hoping to get 3 figures to kick the season off.
He's on 95. Bracewell is on strike, the left-hander, on 4. And Ben Dorsius is into him. Slow, and he just scoops, and they'll get through for a single. It was an odd shot from Bracewell, but it was a slower ball again, brilliantly delivered by the left armour for Australia. And it's just 168 for 5. Australia, Smithy, more than happy to take it in singles at this stage.
And I think that Dorsius is also taking pace out of the delivery, so whether he's going to do that throughout the remainder of the over and make it hard for Robinson to use any pace, or whether he's just going to go Yorker and go for accuracy.
Needs 5 for 100, does Tim Robinson, as Dorsius bowls to him. It's full outside the off stump and clamps down, plays it through point, runs the first one hard, but the fielding is good from Australia out there. Mitch Owen doing the fielding, restricts it to 1 again, 169 for 5.
Great innings this from Robinson. He was in, 4th ball? Seifert was out 3rd ball of the innings. Really mature. He's held this together, and it's a real feather in his cap in terms of going forward in the future, because you're doing this against Australia, not just anyone. This is Australia. Terrific innings.
3 deliveries left in the New Zealand innings. Here's Dorsius bowling to Bracewell. He gets a slower ball, heaves it up over the top of cover. There's a chase for 3 Australian fielders out to the boundary. Will be cut off by Short. And they've run 2, and Bracewell, I think, is going to be run out at the non-striker's end, getting back for the 3rd. He is already heading to the players' area, so it'll be 2 for New Zealand. Bracewell will be run out, but we will wait for confirmation.
Well, he sacrificed himself really here. 1, to get the more informed player on strike, a chance to get the 100. He's out by about a metre and a bit, so there's no problem at all with that. But that was an absolute sacrifice just to get Tim Robinson back on strike. The right thing to do.
Gets the confirmation, does Michael Bracewell. Run out for 7. New Zealand 171 for 6. Good work from Matt Short and Ben Dorsius, who was the bowler at the non-striker's end behind the stumps. So 2 deliveries left. 171 for 6 is the score, and considering where New Zealand were in the second over, 6 for 3. Seifert, Conway and Chapman all dismissed with inside the first 2 overs. I'm sure the New Zealand team at that point would have taken 171 for 6 with 2 deliveries left, and a chance for Tim Robinson, who really is in the infancy of his international career, to get within 4 of a century.
Well, this is the integral ball, really, because if they keep it to a single, and they'll try to do that, Australia, then, of course, he won't have the opportunity to score his 100. This is the ball.
171 for 6. Dorsius into Robinson, walks across and flicks it down to fine leg, and he will get the century. Gets a hug from Zach Folkes. Tim Robinson, a maiden T20 international century, takes his helmet off, salutes the crowd, 100 not out. Terrific innings from a man coming in the pressure situation that he did. And he'll enjoy that, Ian Smith.
Well, to a man in the dressing room, they're on their feet. They stayed inside tonight because of the wind. They're not out on the balcony. A couple of them came out, but this is a really good innings to set up a season for Tim Robinson, maybe. Just fantastic. And his team in this match.
One ball left in the innings. 175 for 6 is the score. Here's Bartlett bowling to him, and he's going to finish it with a maximum over deep mid-wicket for 6. It's a big 6 from Tim Robinson. He will finish 106 not out. New Zealand finished with back-to-back big barrel boundaries and set Australia 182 to win the opening Chappell-Hadlee T20 at Bay Oval.
Well, he got the better of Dorcius. That previous delivery, Dorcius was frustrated that he was able to work him down to fine leg because he had fine leg up inside the circle, and that was an incredibly good shot to get the ball down there. And then, of course, he just lost all poise and bowled him a nice, juicy full toss to finish off because he was in two minds, the bowler. That's what Robinson has done to the Australian attack tonight. He has, I won't say had it in the palm of his hand, but when you consider where he came out in the fourth ball of the innings, he's batted right through. This is an innings of real maturity, which may well set Tim Robinson up.
Ends 106 not out, gets a warm applause as he heads towards the players' area. Got a few pats on the back from the Australians as well. 181 for 6 is the New Zealand score. Ian Smith touched on the circumstance at which Tim Robinson came out to bat. New Zealand with 6 for 3 after 1.4 overs. That was after Mitch Marsh won the toss and said, "You bat first." 6 for 3 New Zealand. Tim Robinson was joined by Daryl Mitchell. They took the score from 6 for 3 to 98 for 4 before Mitchell was dismissed for 34. Robinson was joined by Jacobs, and they continued on. Robinson and Jacobs took the score from 98 to 162. There was a short cameo from Michael Bracewell, but Tim Robinson needed 4 off the last 2 balls, and he took 4, and then he took 6 to propel New Zealand to 181 for 6. Australia need 182. Ian Smith touched on the fact that New Zealand were 3 for 6, and in all sorts, Australia all over them. But that's quite a fight back from New Zealand, and they'll be pleased to have 182 on the board.
Oh, what a way to start this season, to be perfectly honest. That was an action-packed 20 overs of cricket, of nip and tuck, of punch and counter-punch. It was just beautifully designed for us, the spectators, and for us to talk about up here. We've seen some real quality in the field and the bowling initially, and then with Mitchell, of course, and Robinson, that lightning partnership, not to sit back and say, let's consolidate and get ourselves out of this. Let's just keep going, which I thought was very brave because it could have turned to custard. It didn't. It turned to something a little bit tastier than that. It was really a really good performance from a New Zealand side, which has not played the level of cricket that Australia have been of late. Whether it's enough, I do not know. Normal circumstances, you would say these days 9 and over is comfortable for these sides that continue to play this form of the game. I'm not sure about that, but I kind of feel at the moment I still give the advantage to Australia despite the Robinson innings, despite the fight back.
Thoughts there of former black cap Ian Smith. Tim Robinson, the hero of the New Zealand first innings, 106 not out. Daryl Mitchell 34, Bevan Jacobs 20, the other contributors. Not much from anybody else. On the other side, Josh Hazlewood, as you'd expect, 1 for 23 from his 4. Ben Dorcius took the 2 wickets, but ended up costing him 40 runs, considering the wickets he took at the start. Adam Zampa, also economical, no wicket for 27 from his 4. And Matthew Short was the other wicket taker with 1 for 32. New Zealand scoring 181 for 6 from their 20 overs. That after Mitch Marsh won the toss and chose to bat. Tim Robinson, maiden T20 international century to kickstart the season. Take a short break here on Sport Nation. We'll be back at Bay Oval with the chase. Australia need 182 to go 1-0 up in the 3-match T20 Chappell-Hadlee series.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
Since the 1970s, Roundup's seen it all in the Kiwi backyard. The paisley prints, the short shorts, the backyard cricket, the conversations with the lawnmower, the barbies, and the outdoor lifestyle we still love today. We've been helping Kiwis keep weeds down year after year with a product for every job, from paths and lawns to those hard-to-kill weeds. Roundup makes it simple. Roundup, part of Kiwi backyards since 1976. To banish weeds now, reach for the Roundup.
It's so impressive, but this time he's hit square of the wicket.
You're listening to the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. This is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy, live from Bay Oval in Tauranga on Sport Nation.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
Rugby seasons are heating up. The PGG Rights and Turf are laying the foundations. They've been supplying sports stadiums across New Zealand now for over 40 years. From pro sports turf to turf landscaping, through to revegetation and erosion control, their highly skilled team are well equipped to help you achieve your next turf project. To find out more about how they can help with your turf grass solutions, visit pggrightsandturf.com today.
Celebrate these hot deals only at Big Barrel. Hennessy VS Cognac 700ml, $64.99. Buffalo Trace Bourbon or Sailor Jerry Spiced Rum 700ml, $54.99. Absolute Plain or Beefeater 1 litre, $52.99.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Those in the know already know about Saddlery Warehouse Cambridge. They're the racing experts supplying everyone from race clubs to studs, trainers to jockeys, so they can help you to up your game with quality personalised products you won't get anywhere else. Like racing silks, which have just landed in store from just $199. That's why those in the know call Saddlery Warehouse Cambridge on 0800 4 Racing. Saddlery Warehouse Cambridge, gearing you up for success. 0800 4 Racing.
The Silver Ferns are back. Get ready for an unmissable series of world-class netball. The Ferns take on South Africa for the Tiny Jameson Trophy and go head-to-head with their fiercest rivals, Australia, for the Consolation Cup. 5 epic games across Aotearoa, you won't want to miss a moment. It all kicks off this September in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. Get ready for some epic Silver Ferns action. Be part of the crowd and grab your tickets now at silverferns.co.nz.
We were going to demonstrate how a farmer like Jack here could use the Hawkeye mobile app to order fert from the middle of a paddock. But he's already done it.
Yep, all sorted. Only took a few taps.
So, I guess that's that then.
Yep.
The Hawkeye app by Ravensdown. The smart way to order nutrients so you spend less time on admin. Talk to your agri manager or visit hawkeye.farm today.
Struggling with headaches, migraines, or concussion symptoms that just won't go away? At the Headache Clinic, we help you get answers and results. Our experienced team uses proven assessment and treatment methods to get you back to work, sport, and life faster. Don't let pain hold you back. Book now at headacheclinic.co.nz or call 0800 Headache. That's headacheclinic.co.nz or 0800 Headache. The Headache Clinic. Accurate diagnosis, faster recovery, lasting relief.
Discover the thrill of thoroughbred racing at loveracing.nz and celebrate the heroes of our sport. Follow our equine superstars from the breeding barn to the racetrack, through to their life after racing. Be a part of the action. Loveracing.nz, your home of thoroughbred racing.
It's 6 more to Mitchell. Welcome back to the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. You're listening to live ball-by-ball commentary. This is the Black Caps against Australia, the 20 2020 series for the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy on Sport Nation.
From Bay Oval, Mount Maunganui, the first of 3 T20 internationals between New Zealand and Australia with the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy on the line. And Australia are going to have to do what, of course, my maths involved, so caution advised. Only one other side has ever done at this venue, which is chase down a T20 international target and win. And the last time that happened, that was a rain-reduced game against Bangladesh. I think New Zealand made 90 odd and ended up winning by Duckworth-Lewis Stern by about 17 runs. So it is rather unusual, but Australia have their plan under Mitchell Marsh. He loves to bowl first. And, well, it looked like a brilliant decision from the Australian skipper halfway through the second over. New Zealand's top order shredded to pieces. It was 6 for 3. They lost Seifert, caught it mid-off the bowling of Hazelwood for 4. Conway was bowled by Dorshish for 1. Next ball, Chapman caught down the leg side. 6 for the loss of 1, and I'm sure New Zealand fans were pulling their hair out at that stage. But a brilliant fourth wicket partnership, 92 runs in very quick time from the New Zealand pair of Daryl Mitchell and Tim Robinson. Robinson very much being the more assertive of the two. They put on 92 off 55 balls, then a 64-run partnership of 47 balls between Robinson and Jacobs. New Zealand maybe didn't put the foot down as much as they would have wanted in the last 10 overs. Granted, some excellent Australian bowling. Only 1 over from the 13th over onwards, 2 overs, the 17th and the 20th went for more than 10 runs. That's exactly what you want. So Australia, 182 is the target. Tim Robinson, Chris Harris alongside me, 106 not out. What a special not.
Absolutely magnificent. As I said, he started quite slowly, got himself in. He had to, because New Zealand lost those quick 3 wickets. And then it was like a short ball from Adam Zampa that really got him underway. And then he played absolutely magnificently and finished the innings off with a towering 6, which just put the icing on the cake and took New Zealand to a total that I think, if they bowl well in these first 6 overs, give them a real chance.
Mitch Marsh and Travis Head, what dangerous players, right-hand, left-hand combination. But Matt Henry with the ball in his hand, bowling from our commentary end, he'll be running away from us. He's got a slip who's quite wide in the form of Daryl Mitchell. He starts full straight, worked up towards mid-on, there's no run. The 2 men out, third man, and deep square leg. Protecting with a downwind boundary. Very, very strong westerly whip ripping across the surface, bringing a lot of smoke from the industrial complex next door. Looks quite ominous at times, doesn't it, Harry?
It does a little bit. I thought it was a little misty rain coming through, but it's just, the salt dust.
We'll go with salt dust. I like that. Here is Henry, the live fast bowler, back of a length, and that's murdered through the offside by Mitch Marsh. Likes it there short and hitting at the top of the bounce, spanking it away for the first big barrel boundary of the innings. Bigger range, bigger deals, 4 without loss, chasing 182.
It's a wonderful shot. He's one of those batsmen that you bowl to that the margin for error is very, very small. That was quite a heavy length from Matt Henry, just wide of off stump, just over the top of the stump height. And it's just been smashed on the up through by Marsh.
Henry with the wispy moustache look as he bowls forwards, driven on the up, just wide of mid-on. That's going to shoot away. Gee, strong. The Bison doesn't even need to hit it in the middle, and he's strong enough to get it to the fence for consecutive 4s. 8 without loss halfway through the first, chasing 182.
Again, why he's so difficult to bowl to. Another good area from Matt Henry. On the line, just outside off stump, good length. Mitch Marsh looked as though he was trying to drive through mid-off, caught the inside half of the bat and dragged it wide of mid-on, and it still raced away. Sort of feel as though New Zealand need to get Australia 3 down in this power play.
And 10 balls, like the New Zealand innings? You want them?
Well, ideally.
Yeah, okay.
But just in the first 6 overs.
8 without loss on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. From over the wicket, Henry goes a little bit fuller, waiting and steering it down towards third man. A single off the bat of Marsh. Here's all 9 of the Australian runs.
Bit like New Zealand as well, Australia going with the left-right-hand combination of Head and Marsh. Both very aggressive players. The type of players that can go from ball 1. Very, very difficult to bowl to. If there's one guy in the New Zealand setup that you want bowling to them, it's Matt Henry.
Travis Head What a dangerous player he is. Torture bowlers. Angles he can hit the ball. The left-hander waits and he's cramped up thick inside edge. Down towards deep backward square for a single 10 without loss. And that's the type of stroke that Travis Head, I think, always keeps bowlers interested. But he's so good at just forgetting the last one.
Yeah, it's just early. He's one of those players that early on his innings you've got to get him, because he doesn't move his feet that well early in his innings, but he's got such a good eye, even that nip back, and he just got an inside edge, and all of a sudden that next ball he'll just whip on the up through square leg. So dangerous.
Henry charging away from us, gets nice and close to the stumps and goes past the outside edge. Classical Matt Henry, full nip away, trying to drive his Marsh, but too good for him. The end of the first over, defending 181. New Zealand have conceded 10 off that first over. It's 10 without loss. Marsh 9, Head 1 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. If you're just tuning into our coverage here on Sport Nation, New Zealand sent in after Australia won the toss. Seifert 4, Conway 1. Chapman first ball without scoring. Mitchell 34. Evan Jacobs made 20. Bracewell 7. And Folks was not out, didn't face a ball. Tim Robinson, though, has made an T20 International 100 off 66 balls. He made 106, 6 fours and 5 sixes. 181 for the loss of 6 with 9 extras in that total. 2 wickets to Dorshish, 1 to Hazelwood and 1 to Short Samper. Excellent too, none for 27 off his 4. Jacob Duffy has a wicket down the leg side. Well, New Zealand believe so. There was a definite noise, but probably off pad. Unlike the Chapman dismissal, it was clearly away from the pad. This was much tighter, and I don't think New Zealand are going to review.
Yeah, I think it's just flicked his pad as it goes down. I was just going to say it's going to be interesting to see if Jacob Duffy gets swing, because we didn't see much from the Australians. But that has swung quite a long way, and it's just clipped the pad. So it's a good sign, because it's a real weapon for Jacob Duffy.
He was brilliant here last time we saw him against Pakistan. This one's a beauty, wider of off stump, and Head's trying to play that with the horizontal bat. It's cut him in two almost, past the inside edge, past the back hip, through to Seifert. The bowling from Duffy. Duffy swung it a long way that night, but with good pace, and then you added in when they switched off the lights when he was bowling.
That's when I'm at my best, when bowling in the dark.
Those backyard cricket games when Harry brings himself on at 10 o'clock at night. Conditions ripe. Here is Head waiting very watchfully, opens the blade, rolls it down towards deep backward point for a single. He is up to 2. It's 11 without loss on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. Harvey Norman TV deals.
That's why it's so frustrating to bowl to Travis Head. He almost looks as though his feet aren't going. He's got an inside edge. He's been cut in half. He's almost been caught down the leg side. And then all of a sudden he just gets into the rhythm and he just starts hitting the ball so well. It can be so frustrating, because as a bowler you think you're all over the top of him and found a way to get him out, and all of a sudden he's just away on you.
In his sense of occasion, some big match hundreds. World Cup final, silenced 1 billion people, didn't he?
And he scores so quickly as well, in all formats.
Marsh, who looks at home as an opener in this form of the game, waits, and he'll allow the ball to hit the bat and roll down towards third man. Quickly in to prevent a second being taken is Bevan Jacobs. So New Zealand omitted Neesham, who was called into the squad late because Rachin Ravindra decided to pick a fight with a boundary fence and lost. Bad cut and some stitches. No concussion, so that's good. Sodi also left out, and Ben Sears. So Bracewell, the frontline spinner for tonight. Slow, wider of off stump. On, it's beaten. Seifert on the bounce. It's got to him on a half volley. With the fingers rolled over the ball, maybe just spun away from him. He'll no doubt see it as sloppy. 13 without loss. Wide is signalled eventually. From umpire Chris Brown at the far end. Sean Haig at square leg. Wayne Knight's the TV umpire.
Don't mind that from Duffy though. Attempted to slow a ball, just got a little bit wayward and a little bit wide.
Slip in for the right-hander, who hits high over mid-on, strong bottom hand, and on the bounce, maybe 1 or 2 bounces into the long-on rope for 4. 18 without loss. Marsh is 14 off just 7.
Again, just shows the power of Marsh. For most right-hand batsmen, that's a heavy length that you're going to hit high on the splice and potentially get caught at mid-on.
Well, I think he did hit it on the splice.
He's just got so much power. His splice still carries almost all the way to the boundary.
Last ball of the second over, 18 without loss. Full, and this one is sliced on the drive, through point, over point, down to the fence for 4. Back-to-back big barrel boundaries, bigger range, bigger deals. Ends a good over. 12 runs offered. Australia off to a flyer, chasing 182 at 22 without loss.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
Chappell-Hadlee game number 1, 182 is the target for Australia. New Zealand made 181 for 6. Robinson 106 not out, but through 2 overs. Duffy has gone for 12. Henry gone for 10. Marsh 18 off 8. Heads 2 off 4. He's on strike and he's got the left-handed folks who's into the attack. From around the wicket, he bowls very well to left-handers, can take it away, and this one hits the seam immediately and goes past the outside edge. It was there to be cut. He swung, he missed.
Be interesting to know if this was a tactic before the start of the game or just the way the first 2 overs are going. But I have a feeling if with head on strike, folks are so good to the left-hander, just skids on, deceptive pace, so good at taking the ball away from the left-hander. Hence the reason New Zealand have got, I guess you'd describe it as like about a 4th slip and almost a deep gully catching as well.
High leg kick out the back. He's around the wicket again, goes straighter, nipping away, dropped into the off side. They set off for a single. Then sort of an attempt. How would you describe that attempt from Devon Conway? He's diving sort of forward, so mid-pitch, if you draw a line from his head to mid-pitch, and then he's tried to throw it at the non-striker's end and missed by what?
I'd describe it as very good intent getting to the ball, great pick-up, and then just an horrendous throw. But
you did start with a compliment, Harry. I love very like you.
No, the intent's good because he got in quickly and it looked as though the batsman were under pressure, and that's all you can ask of your field, and he got rid of it quickly, but I think he got rid of it so quickly that he was nowhere near the mark.
159 off 106 balls on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. Marsh now on strike, the right-hander. Look at folks for the first time. Back over the wicket of the right-hander. He's on the walk as he drives powerfully straight up towards the New Zealand captain, Bracewell Fields. No run.
This is why, for me, Marsh is so dangerous. I actually feel as though we've bowled quite well to him. We haven't bowled any really bad deliveries. It's just been the quality of his batsmanship. He's hit length balls on the up, off back and front foot, and all of a sudden he's 18, and I don't feel as though we've bowled that badly to him.
I've seen enough of Mitch Marsh over the years. What was it, the test match at Hadlee?
I think I've seen enough of him tonight.
Oh, I've seen enough of him tonight, no doubt about that. And he waits, gets a darting in-swinger full of length. It's low on the bat, up towards mid-on. He gets a run, 24 without loss. But also the T20 World Cup final. It's him who broke our hearts. I can't remember which year because they come around so quickly.
He's done it a couple of times. Did it in red ball cricket in Christchurch as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that test.
He may...
Was he dropped first ball of the day by Rachin Ravindra?
At point. And then Travis Head got caught a couple
We have
balls
long
later.
memories, don't we?
Yeah, too long.
Yeah, sad individuals.
I think he might have trouble with folks just because his ability to mix up his pace, and he hasn't seen him.
He's over the wicket to the left-hander this time, and this one angling across, just pushed forward up towards up mid-off, and I think that's a real sign of respect off the bat of Travis Head. He's 4 off 7, Marsh 19 off 10. It's 25 without loss on the Harvey Norman scoreboard.
I don't think Mitch Marsh would have seen folks before. He might have seen him on a little bit of video when they were perhaps prepping for this tour, but he's got lots of different variations, and he is quite a bit quicker, and he does deceive a lot of batsmen because he does hurry on to you.
Skids on. He's not the tallest, is he?
No, he's got about 3 or 4 different slower balls as well.
Number 35 on the back. Ball's mid-crease. Slow, full, towering blow. Harry, get under it. It's coming to you, mate. That is 6 runs. What a hit. He waited. It was a slower ball. Down to 103k. And it's off the bat at about 150. 31 without loss. Marsh, 25 off 11. A big barrel boundary. Bigger range, bigger deals.
It's fair to say he picked that one all right, though. So I don't think we'll use that slower ball again. But that, again, just shows the power of the man. If he mishits it, it goes for 6, but that one was a quality strike and he got it in the middle of the bat, and it's hit very high up in the commentary box. That had to be close to a 100-metre hit. So strong.
So, another change of bowling. Henry, Duffy, folks have all bowled one, and now Kyle Jamieson.
I have a feeling this was a plan right from the outset. I'm sure it was just...
Well, in fairness, they've got 3 opening bowlers, haven't they? Jamieson, Duffy, Henry, probably all want the first overall too.
Yeah, and folks, you'd argue, is opening bowler in this sort of format, in the white ball format. And I also like the fact that, you know, you've got Jamieson coming back, he's been out of cricket for a while, so get him into it early. And it's also a good look to see who may be the most dangerous today. Make sure that they get through their 4, and it will just give Michael Bracewell an understanding of where he's going to use these bowlers throughout the game. I still think you've got to use Jacob Duffy with the new ball as much as you can with it swinging like that.
It's all right arm quick from over the wicket. Head hitting down the ground, hits high on the bat, but still muscles it back over the bowler's head. Another 4. They're dealing in boundaries. Australia are motoring at the moment, 35 without loss on the Harvey Norman scoreboard.
That's where it's so difficult bowling to this left-right-hand combination of Australia. You've got Mitch Marsh, who's just got brute force and can hit you front foot or back foot from any length. And Travis Head, who's a little bit unorthodox, but also very, very aggressive. If you don't get early wickets, they generally make you pay.
Oh, shorter this time, angling across the left-hander, tried to steer it over the court and beat him for pace and slapping into the gloves of Seifert. Good response.
Don't mind that either. He's got protection. He's got a third man. He's got a deep square leg. So he's got a bit of protection for that short ball. So I'm sure Jamieson will mix it up between back of a length and short. Just so if you're going to take me on, at least challenge the boundary riders.
And again, posing figure of Jamieson from over the wicket, angling across, and Heads tried to smoke it over deep mid-wicket. Problem was the head looked up and away before the bat hit the ball.
Quite often, it's one of those shots where you swing so hard, you're thinking to yourself, I've hit that so far, and then realise you haven't got any bat on it at all. Almost looking to see how far is that going over the stands. Oh no, the keeper's got it.
Really would have been better looking to target the offside.
Good from Jamieson though, good adjustment. Just gone a little bit wider of off stump, making Head reach for it. As he saw with that first ball, anything around the stumps, he feels comfortable.
Jamieson halfway through his first over. Runs over the gully, down towards fine leg. It's hit the rope. Used the pace and bounced the Jamieson offers. And really steered it. Got underneath, got plenty of elevation. And they'll go and check. It's definitely a big barrel boundary, bigger range, bigger deals. Question is how many?
Pretty sure it's hit the rope on the full, hasn't it?
Well, you can see the replay now, Harry. On the bounce,
just
half
short.
volley.
Got no eyes.
39 without loss. Crowd sounds a little bit subdued now. Target 182. 7 big barrel boundaries already inside 4 overs. Fuller, this one is hit powerfully just over the outstretched right hand of the point fielder who moved a little bit late to Devon Conway. I'd like to see this one again. It's gone to the fence for 443 without loss. And I wonder, Harry, if this is a chance.
Yeah, he's just crept down a little bit as well. He's in about 3 or 4 yards from the circle, and you just feel in that position with the way that these two play. I reckon it's a position that he can hang back a little bit. But to be fair, it went quick, and I think he just lost his footing because it went at a catchable height. He will be disappointed he didn't get a hand on that when he sees the replay. It just looked like he lost his footwork.
Slower delivery. Flicked away through mid-wicket over the inner circle. They got 1. They'll come back for 2. Very good over for Australia. 14 runs off it. And now Travis Head started again in on the act. He's 18. March 25. Chasing 182. 45 without loss. Australia after 4.
Since the 1970s, Roundup's seen it all in the Kiwi backyard. The paisley prints, the short shorts, the backyard cricket, the conversations with the lawnmower, the barbies, and the outdoor lifestyle we still love today. We've been helping Kiwis keep weeds down year after year with a product for every job, from paths and lawns to those hard-to-kill weeds. Roundup makes it simple. Roundup, part of Kiwi backyards since 1976. To banish weeds now, reach for the Roundup.
Summer of cricket from Bay Oval. New Zealand on the back foot, defending their 181 for the loss of 6. Australia 45 without loss after 4. Duffy back into the attack. He switched ends from our broadcasting position, drags the length down. It's a slower ball. Marsh trying to pull through the onside, thick inside edge, a single through square leg. 46 without loss.
Well, Daniel, we saw a bit of a mixed fielding display from Australia. We saw elements, a couple of bits of brilliance, but some really poor catching, and I'm sure the wind didn't help. But New Zealand, to get themselves back in this game, are certainly, in my mind, going to have to feel a lot better than Australia did. I think I counted maybe 4, perhaps 5 catches going down. And we just saw perhaps a half chance where Conway didn't quite get a hand on it where he should have. But you feel as though it's going to have to be some brilliant fielding from New Zealand to try and keep themselves in this match.
Well, after 4 overs, New Zealand were 29 for 3. Australia 45 without loss. They really need a wicket, if not 2. Head on 18. He waits for Duffy. He's going to tease the field as he drives between extra cover and mid-off, getting it just over their head, out to the fence for 4. The 50-run stand up inside 5 overs. 8 fours and a 6 already, Harry.
Yeah, they're underway, aren't they? They've certainly targeted this first 6 overs, Australia, as they always do. But they've been very, very good, these two. Left-right-hand combination making it difficult for New Zealand. And to me, it looks as though Duffy, the swing's gone out of that new ball as well.
Head 22 off 14. It's a ball into his rib cage. Awkward looking fend off his hip. Was it thigh pad? Bat? No, run signalled.
I think it was glove.
51 without loss. Marsh now on strike, 26 off 12.
That's where Duffy's very good. Just that heavy ball into the ribs of Travis Head, not allowing him to free his arms. Just hurried onto him, caught the glove. But what these two have done, if they don't find the boundary, they find a way to keep picking up those ones.
Duffy from over the wicket, bowls Yorker length, dug out, well bowled, no run.
Good from Duffy. Got to keep mixing up your pace too. Mitch Marsh, such a dangerous player. You can just see him wondering, if I've blocked 1, where am I going to hit this?
Deep mid-wicket out.
I don't think that'll worry him because he's hitting with the wind. If he gets a ball on a length, he's looking to go leg side.
And deep backward square, the 2 men out. Still inside the power play, of course. And short third man, backward point. Cover extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, short fine leg. That's the field. Duffy from over the wicket. Full, too much width, and using those long arms to just hit true through the line. 4 more. New Zealand have been a little bit rusty with the ball, fair to say. That's the 10th boundary inside 5 overs. Looked at New Zealand's innings, Harry. 16 in total.
You have a feeling Australia's going to score more boundaries than we did. We just have to be more clinical in the field. I don't mind that variation from Duffy. It was just too wide. Any time you give either of these Australian batsmen width, they're going to make you pay. If you're going to bowl your variation, it's got to be a lot straighter.
Run rate's 11.38. Last ball of the Duffy over. None for 22 thus far. Bowl's full and hits straight over mid-off's head. It's a retrieval job for the New Zealand captain as Mitch Marsh continues to motor along. He's 34 off 15. Heads 23 off 15. And after 5 overs, chasing 182, Australia rollicking along 59 without loss. After this break, it's going to be Tom Bartlett and Nensma.
Big battle, you local liquor store.
Hawke's
Hawke's Bay Brewing Co. Peach or Berry Bomb, Ginger or Lemon Fusion 4-pack cans, $17.99. Long White 10-pack bottles range, a hot 2 for $55. Tiger Ultra 12-pack cans, $23.99.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store.
59 without loss, Australia. They're chasing 182. And they are off to an absolute flyer. 10 falls and 1-6. Mitchell Marsh, in particular, brutal with his assault on this New Zealand bowling lineup. Matt Henry back into the attack from the Maunganui end, bowling to the left-handed Head, and Head throws his hands at it and gets a big, thick outside edge. One bounce down to the vacant third-man boundary for 4. So there's another one. That's 11 boundaries in the innings. And Australia to 63 without loss. This is tough to watch, Ian Smith.
Well, it's tough if you're a New Zealand fan, of course, and we are basically behind the scene, but we're also analysts, and what we can see is that New Zealand will have come in here with bowling plans to these players, because there's no secret about the way Marsh and Head play. I mean, every game of cricket they play is televised. You can do a lot of homework. The fact is they've hit them off their plans. They've hit them out of their plans, and they've hit Michael Bracewell into a bowling pattern he didn't want.
Henry bowls to Head. This time he just stands and almost forehands it down the ground over the top of mid-off and down to the boundary for another 4. Back-to-back boundaries for Head. He's 27 and it's 67 without loss.
And what we're getting here is just a little lesson. I mean, we thought Tim Robinson played well, and he did. But what we're getting a lesson here is just the margin for error as a bowler is so small against top-flight batsmen that you just cannot do it. And there's a few wry smiles on a few faces out there, because they're almost feeling a bit powerless about this New Zealand at the moment. Michael Bracewell is under siege as a captain. What to do here?
Deep backward square on the fence, and third man very wide as Henry bowls to Head, and Head is swinging. This time he's going to be caught. He is caught at mid-wicket. Tried to play the shot. Henry followed him, just got no timing, and it just ballooned up to Mark Chapman, who took the straightforward catch. And from a New Zealand perspective, the welcome departure of Travis Head, who was looking ominous. And Australia lose their first at 67.
Well, I've been trying to take the pace off, trying to disrupt the hitting strength of the Australians, but that one actually got onto the bat quicker than he thought. There was a little bit of shoulder in that from Matt Henry, and it got to Travis Head before he was expecting it. He couldn't get any timing in the shot at all. Ballooned it to Mark Chapman. So a very dangerous player is on his way back, but the damage has been done in this power play. And Australia, you kind of sense at the moment, have got it where they want it, and they can play how they want to. New Zealand continue now to have to take wickets. They need Marsh. They need 2 new players together.
A sequence of big barrel boundaries, bigger range, bigger deals, followed by the dismissal of Travis Head. Matt Short on his way out to join the Australian captain Marsh, who's on 34 from 15. Matt Henry, who had conceded 18 from his first 8 deliveries, gets the wicket of Head. And as you say, Smithy, Australia off to such a positive start, such a prolific start from a boundary perspective, can now time the run.
They can actually. They can afford to have a new player come in and have a look for 2 or 3 deliveries. There's no blitzkrieg needed from the other end. They bat deep too. You've got Mitch Owen, who is so impressive in the Caribbean, coming in at number 7.
Australia need a further 115, 87 legitimate deliveries to do it. So run rate won't be a problem for this Australian lineup. It's whether New Zealand can put some pressure on the top order, particularly put pressure on Mitch Marsh. Slip in place for Short. First delivery, back of a length, punches to Chapman and the covers, and there's no run.
And how often is it Matt Henry that gets the breakthrough? He's such a fine bowler these days, and highly respected around the world as one of the very best in his trade. New Zealand are going to need him for the next year or 2 to be consistently available, to stay physically fit, because not only has he got the technique, he's got the ability to take wickets, but he's got the brain, he's got the bowling brain.
Right-handed Short waits for Henry again. He's up on his toes, defending to the bowler on the offside of the wicket. There's no run.
So put a slip in, which is a good move. Put Daryl Mitchell in at a wider slip because Michael Bracewell is fully conscious that he probably won't stop Australia unless he bowls them out, which means he's got to be attacking when he has an opportunity to pounce.
Jacob Duffy also up inside the circle at third man as he bowls to short Henry this time, and it's shorter delivery to Short, who pulls it to square leg, but they'll get through for a single. So the fielding is done to finish the over. The 6th over, so the power play is completed. Australia 68 for 1. Mitch Marsh 34. Some tremendous shots in the 6 overs. Ian Smith, the power play, dominated by the power of the man they call the Bison.
68 for 1 in a power play. You know, that it's going to translate into a score well in excess of 180 unless New Zealand can do something about it. What the other thing they can do is try and get Mitchell Marsh out of the game. If they can't get him off the field, get him at the non-strikers end for long periods of play. So, 1, that hitting power is sitting watching. 2, he can lose his momentum, his hitting momentum. And quite often that can happen. If you can be away from the strike for 4, 5, even an over, then the next time the timing might not be quite so good.
Well, he's at the non-strikers end as Kyle Jamieson begins the 7th over of the innings to the right-handed Short, and Short's driving elegantly down the ground, and he will pick up a big barrel boundary. Bigger range, bigger deals. Michael Bracewell retrieving from mid-off. It was full from Jamieson. Lovely shot from Short to get his innings underway. He's 5, and Australia 72 for 1.
And a lot of people in the crowd saying, wow, where did that come from? The problem is that we don't know some of these players as well as Australian fans know them. And Matt Short is a heck of a player. He really is. He's not batting at 3 for Australia because he's a novice or he's learning his trade. He is an accomplished cricketer.
He showed that. He's 5 from 4. Waits for Kyle Jamieson again and then tees off. Gets the driver out and sends it way over mid-wicket. Tremendous shot from Matt Short. Back-to-back big barrel boundaries, and Australia rollick along, 78 for 1.
And effortless too. It didn't appear that he really went after that in a savage fashion. I mean, he just, and you know, when as a batsman, you play the shot and then you look down at the ground, you know how well you've hit it. Straight away you look down and you think, I got that. That feels so good. I don't even have to worry about where it ends up. There's no doubt about it. I felt the timing.
And it disappeared way over the boundary into the evening. And Kyle Jamieson has got some thinking to do here. Field changes, mid-wicket on the fence, deep square on the fence, long on the fence, on that onside. This is a little bit slower from Jamieson, and then wicket-keeper Seifert can't take it cleanly. And I think they'll get through for a bye. Well, they got through for something. There it is, a bye from umpire Haig, 79 for 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure Tim Seifert's having his best night, is he? Worked for him with the bat, and he's had 2 or 3 little fumbles already. Really should do better with that one. It's not even hit a glove, to be fair. So I notice he's wired up for sound, which means he must be talking to the television crew as well. I'm sure a wicketkeeper should do that, but it's in the game so often, but that's his choice.
Mitchell Marsh on strike again. He's on 34. Waits for Jamieson and just rocks back and heaves it over extra cover. 1 bounce and over the advertising holding for 4. 83 for 1, March to 38.
And this is turning out to be a really punishing over. We thought once the power play was over, New Zealand might be able to put the brakes on something, particularly with the wicket of Travis Head. Not the case. This is getting even bigger. It's just the raw power and strength of Mitchell Marsh, who can just, he hits the ball so hard, it's almost difficult to explain.
4-6 by 4 so far from the Kyle Jamieson over. Full delivery on the pads of Marsh. Tries to force it on the leg side, but can't catch up with it, and Jamieson does his own fielding. And it's a welcome dot for New Zealand at 83 for 1 Australia.
It's a little gold nugget, isn't it? That dot. And Mitchell Marsh is so furious with himself. He's walked away to square leg at a genuine opportunity to put a free delivery, a full toss on his legs away. What now to finish the over?
Square leg on the fence is very much in front of square to anything on that, and he probably would have got 4. Jameson in again to Marsh. Gets one. This time hits it in front of square, and that player will cut it off. And they will take one to end the 7th over of the innings. Australia need 182 to win. They are 84 for 1. Mitch Marsh 39 and Matt Short's on 11.
When it comes to New Zealand sports turf, nobody knows it better than PGG Rights and Turf. They've been in the industry for over 40 years, proudly supplying customers right across the country, from stadiums to councils, golf courses to racetracks, even through to revegetation and erosion control. Their highly skilled team are well equipped in every aspect of turf and environmental markets. So, for your next turf project, talk to New Zealand's experts. PGGRightsandTurf.com.
Australia are 84 for 1 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. Harvey Norman TV deals. Mitch Marsh 39, Matt Short 11. Travis Head the man out for 31. They are chasing 182. Michael Bracewell is coming into the attack from the Mount Maunganui end.
98 from 78. I mean, that is pretty easy by today's standards.
Here's Bracewell bowling to the right-handed Marsh. Gives himself a little bit of room. Heaves it on the onside out to deep mid-wicket where Robinson does the fielding, and they take 85 for 1.
So Michael Bracewell had two options. He could go with Matt Henry again, use up another Matt Henry over in the hope that his best wicket taker gets another wicket, or he takes the pace out of the game and brings himself on. And that's the second option is what he's done. Take pace off ball.
Matt Short on 11, clipping this one to mid-wicket inside the circle, but Kyle Jameson has to move to his right and dives and collects and throws, but they get through for another single.
So Australia now can just walk their way home, to be perfectly honest. They don't need a procession of boundaries because 96 from 76 is so gettable that they don't have to panic. But will they play that way? That'll be interesting.
Here's Marsh, gives himself a little bit of room, opens up the arms, hits it down the ground. Player coming forward was Matt Henry. Don't know if he got his hands under it. Ball has then been spilt forward. And we'll wait to see a replay. That might have been an opportunity.
It might have been, but I don't think so. I think Matt Henry's done actually very, very well to limit this to just a single. Marsh hit it again so well. I think he surprised himself at the timing. I'm pretty sure that was just short of Matt Henry.
Replay confirms ball just bounced in front of the Henry hands. Here's Bracewell bowling to Short. Takes the pace off it again, and it's turned around the corner by Short. Fielding done down on the fence, and they take one more run. 88 for 1 Australia. 4 singles so far off the Michael Bracewell over, his first. Equation for Australia, 94 from 74. Bracewell over the wicket again. Full toss, and Mitchell Marsh punches. It'll go down on the bounce to Daryl Mitchell at long on. And there is one more run. 89 for 1, Marsh to 42.
Good over this from Michael Bracewell. 5 consecutive singles. If they can string some of these together, they might be able to exert some pressure, New Zealand. Can he finish it off?
Matt Short, 13 from 8. Waits at the striker's end. Is still hitting into that westerly across the ground. Again, just waits, checks the shot, drives it up through mid-on. And the fielding's done by Daryl Mitchell. 6 singles from Michael Bracewell's first over. Good one for New Zealand, but Australia still well on track. They're chasing 182. They are 90 for 1.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
The Chemist Warehouse Spring Frenzy Mega Sale is on now with up to half price off our everyday low prices on big brand vitamins like Go Healthy and Good Health vitamins up to half price, and Swiss, Nutrilife and Clinicians vitamins all up to half price. Sale ends October 1 only at Chemist Warehouse.
This is the summer of cricket on Sport Nation. It's the first Chappell-Hadlee T20 International, New Zealand and Australia. Australia 90 for 1. They're chasing 182. Zach Folkes into the attack. His first over cost 9, and the first delivery of the 9th over of the innings is played up to mid-off. Michael Bracewell does the fielding. One more to Short, who's 15, and Australia to 91 for 1. So they're halfway there. 91 more required from 71 balls.
So you pick little moments in the game as to where you think it has to happen. And it has to happen right now for New Zealand. They have to see the end of Mitchell Marsh, get a new player out here, put some pressure on a newish combination. It has to happen now.
Folks, over the wicket, bowls to Marsh, and all that's going to happen is Marsh is going to drive this one straight down the ground, over the top of the boundary for 6 more. He's 48 from 22 deliveries, 97 for 1.
Wow, how easy is that? Nonchalant, and he holds the pose as well. He loves it. Absolutely loves the shot. Straight as a die. Straight back over where it came from. And even if you've got fielders back, and there are 2 back, long off, long on, it pierces them with precision.
He's in a belligerent mood as Mitchell Marsh waits for Zach Folkes, and he's bowled short, and he's just flat batted this over extra cover into the embankment for 6 more. Back to back. Big barrel boundaries from Mitchell Marsh. He's 54, and Australia are 103 for 1.
That's brute force. I mean, that's not an easy shot to play. He's brought up his 50 with this unbelievable shot. Folks took pace off the ball, but the problem was he gave him too much width, way too much width, to free those massive arms. Put the bat on the end of it as well, so his wingspan is so big, and the power that's generated there, incredible.
54 from 23. Pressure on Zach Folkes. In again to Marsh, and this one's full and wide, and Marsh just watches it go past and then watches the umpire outstretch the arms at 104 for 1.
Well, this is in danger of just hurting a wee bit, isn't it? First up for the season. Come in with all the plans, and you think to yourself, we've had a really good recovery ourselves to get in this game, and it's been negated in such a short space of time by brilliant hitting and some slightly wayward bowling.
Marsh waits again for Folkes. Full, and Marsh rather drives. Fielding's done by Mitchell at extra cover, but not before they get through for 1 more. 55 to the Australian captain. And Australia's total 105 for 1. Australia needs 77 more from 68 balls.
So 4 players inside the circle. Of course, now that the power play's over, we've got 2 men behind point up inside the circle, an extra cover and a short fine leg. So no margin for error in terms of fine.
Folkes bowls, and it's in the hitting zone again of Matt Short, and he's gone whack over deep extra cover, over the deep square rather, and that has gone onto the embankment as well. Short 21, Australia 111 for 1. More power hitting from the Australian batsman.
He's just not getting his length right here. I don't mind the pace off, but the pace off can't be disguised halfway down. So they're able, once they see this pace off and they see the length of it, just to wait for it. It sits up.
3 sixes conceded in the over so far from Zach Folkes. Can he get out of it? It's full, and it's smashed behind point. Devon Conway does the fielding on the bounce. It's a dot ball, a rare one for New Zealand. 20 runs scored off the 9th over. 111 for 1. Mitch Marsh, 55. Matt Short's on 21. The target is 182. It's almost down to 1 a ball. And real pressure on the New Zealand bowlers here.
Well, Australia have just taken this game by the scruff of the neck, and you just got to set your standards higher these days when it comes to T20 cricket. And of course, there's a T20 World Cup in India and Sri Lanka. You've got to be very handy and getting used to getting scores of 220 plus, 230 plus on good pitches with smallish boundaries. And this is not a ground with small boundaries by Indian standards or Sri Lankan standards. This is quite big, quite expansive. It's a genuine oval, but you need to set your sights higher with the bat.
Bracewell continuing. Starts a new over, and Mitchell Marsh just opens up the stance and whacks it over, long off for another 6. He's 61, 117 for 1.
There's a number of people starting to leave. Maybe they've got tickets for Friday night as well, or maybe they just want to get out of the wind. But a lot of people are seeing the writing on the wall here, and they're not liking what they're seeing, because New Zealand cannot stem the flow. They just simply can't stem the flow. Marsh is just, I mean, he's one of the best in the world in this situation. Once he gets in and finds his range and finds his timing. Belligerent.
117 for one. Bracewell in again to Marsh. Gets down on one knee. Swats this one behind square. Cut off by Zach Folkes. Just one. 118 for one. Marsh 62. Seen it so many times though, haven't we, Smithy, from Mitch Marsh around the world. Lots of different surfaces, lots of different situations. When he gets in the mood, very, very hard to stop.
There's no substitution for power. There really isn't. For raw power and timing, there's no substitute for it.
Bracewell bowls to short this time, and he's down on one knee, swinging to Folkes, who's behind square on the fence. He takes one. Short is 22, and midway through the 10th over, Australia 119 for one.
I wonder what Tim Robinson's thinking about himself right throughout the innings, basically. Scored a magnificent 100, and let's not forget that. It's been just taken apart at the moment.
Bracewell in, wide from Marsh, who'd given himself some room, and then Bracewell just darted one in on the off stump, and Marsh thought, I can't really be bothered hitting that. I'll leave it. 119 for one. Two deliveries left in the 10th over. The New Zealand's captain trying to find a way. This one he throws this one outside off, and it's too far outside off. Wide, signalled by Chris Brown. 120 for one.
It's a risky sort of line to bowl when you've got two men behind point inside the circle and a man at deep point. You're really hoping that he hits it straight to him.
Bracewell into Marsh. Swinging hard. Doesn't get any timing as it goes behind square to Zach Folkes. And Mitchell Marsh gets through for another single. 121 for one. One ball left in the 10th over. Marsh is on 63. And Australia needs 61 more to win from 61 balls. Bracewell making a change to his field.
He has to bowl wide of off stump with this field.
Here he is, and he bowls down the leg side, and short swings to Zach Folkes behind square on the boundary. Takes another single, and that ends the 10th over. Midway through the innings, Australia on track for a big win in this first T20 International. They need 60 from the last 10. They won 22 for one. Drinks at Bay Oval. Back in a moment on Sport Nation.
Time for a drink. It's the drinks break on Sport Nation Cricket.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
This is Kyle Jameson from the Black Caps, and you're listening to live coverage of the T20 series between New Zealand and Australia, and this is the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation.
Looking for a career in the thoroughbred industry? Visit careers.loveracing.nz to discover the endless career options available. From jockeys and racehorse trainers to stable hands and track work riders, stud management, turf specialists, and more. There's a role for every passion in the racing world. Starting out or seeking a career change, there's plenty of training and education opportunities available. Do what you love what you do. Get started today at careers.loveracing.nz.
From over the wickets, here's a slog sweep, and he's bowled! This is the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation.
Since the 1970s, Roundup's seen it all in the Kiwi backyard. The paisley prints, the short shorts, the backyard cricket, the conversations with the lawnmower, the barbies, and the outdoor lifestyle we still love today. We've been helping Kiwis keep weeds down year after year with a product for every job, from paths and lawns to those hard-to-kill weeds. Roundup makes it simple. Roundup, part of Kiwi backyards since 1976. To banish weeds now, reach for the Roundup.
Welcome back to Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. This is Sport Nation. This is the Summer of Cricket, starting on October the 1st. So very much in the spring, but Bay Oval, a picture under the lights. Unfortunately, from a New Zealand perspective, the picture not as pretty at this stage. They scored 181, New Zealand batting first. Tim Robinson, 106 not out. Maiden T20 international century for him. But Australia courtesy of their captain, Mitch Marsh, punishing the New Zealand bowlers to all parts in the first 10 overs. 122. So they only need 60 off the last 10, Chris Harris.
Yeah, I sort of feel as though that drinks break came at a good time for New Zealand with Australia 122 for 1. They've got to regroup. They have to find a way to break this partnership initially. And I think their preference would be to get out Mitch Marsh because he's been so destructive.
He's at the non-strikers end as Matt Henry takes up the attack. First delivery to short, swung on the leg side, on the bounce to the New Zealand fielder, Bevan Jacobs, and they take 1. 123 for 1, Matt Short 24.
Hence, I think the reason that New Zealand identified that this is the time right now, and they've gone to their main weapon, Matt Henry, who's just been sensational in all formats for New Zealand. And if you need something to happen or a wicket, he's the man that generally New Zealand have turned to, and they know that they need to break this partnership very, very soon. Otherwise, this game is going to be gone before you know it.
Well, the Australian skipper, Mitch Marsh, 63 from 28, has been unrelenting in this innings so far. First delivery to him, and he looks to play it on the offside. Catches the inside edge of the bat. It's on the body, but he still gets through for 1. Throws his head back in disgust as Mitch Marsh. Feels like he missed out. 64 from 29. 124 for 1.
He's been well supported by Head, though. He got a bit of a fly, got 30, and you've got Short who's just come out, and he's 24 from 15. So everyone going at a rate well in excess of sort of 170 strike rate. They bat so deep, they feel as though they can just keep going.
Henry into Short, and Short gets a half volley and he swings it over the top of mid-off the New Zealand captain Bracewell. 1 bounce into the advertising holdings. He's 28, Matt Short, and Australia fly along to 128 for 1.
What Australia have done so brilliantly is that they've hit some of the New Zealand good balls for boundaries, and so they've gone looking for variations, and the variations haven't got quite right. It's either been too short or too full, and Australia are just setting themselves up. If it's too full, just hit straight down the ground where there's lots of space, and if they get it slightly short, just help it over the way with the wind over mid-wicket. So difficult to bowl to. That margin of error, well, that margin is so small.
15 boundaries and 6 sixes in this innings. Henry in again to Short. And Short throws his hands at a ball outside of off stump. Lots of width to play with. Won't get 4 as it's cut off by the sweeper. Gets 1. Short 29. 129 for 1. You let out a gasp of aspiration there, Chris Harris.
Well, even their ones that are going to the sweepers are going so fast. If they're 5 metres either side, they're 4. They hit so quickly. Fortunately, from New Zealand's point of view, that went straight to the man at deep cover. But it went there in a flash of an eye.
7 runs off the Matt Henry over so far. He's into Marsh, and Marsh has just stood in the crease and whacked it over the top of extra cover, and that has gone all the way for 6 onto the embankment. There's kids flying after that one, and that is pretty much what New Zealand's been doing for the best part of an hour, chasing the ball that Mitch Marsh is depositing into the stands. It's 130 for 1.
Oh, it's incredible batting. It wasn't a bad ball from Matt Henry. It was back of the length, just wide of off stump. He's just stood 2 on his toes and helped it for 6 from a length over extra cover. Like I'd looked, literally felt like 10 minutes ago and Australia needed 92 of 72 balls. Now it's 47 of 53. Power hitting at its best.
He's up to 70, Mitch Marsh. 135 for 1 is the score. Henry in again to him. Wants to swing at this short delivery, but decides it's a little too short, so just drops the gloves and allows it to go through to Tim Seifert. End of the over. Another big one for Australia. 13 from that. Henry's 3 overs have cost 32. He's taken the only wicket. And the Australian score on the Harvey Norman scoreboard, Harvey Norman TV deals, Australia 135 for 1.
A little bit of anger in that last delivery from Matt Henry. 137 Ks. Bit of an effort ball, hoping that Mitch Marsh would take him on, but seeing the ball that well, just decided to leave it alone. They've done the damage for the over. No need to take risks. But with the way this Australian side has set their batting up, just talking about it in the break, Tom, you've got Mitch Owen at 7, who just recently got 100. Did you say in the Big Bash?
Yeah, final. Scored the match-winning ton for the Hobart Hurricanes.
They bat very, very deep. You've got the likes of Stoinis to come, Tim David, Owen. They've got so much power still to come, hence the reason that the top order feel as though they can just go from ball 1 and just keep going.
Kyle Jamieson back into the attack from the Mount Maunganui end. Full delivery, hits short on the full, and up goes the finger. Kyle Jamieson gets the breakthrough for New Zealand. Matt Short, it was full, tried to play it on the onside and just missed the full delivery. Hit him on the pads and up they went. 135 for 2.
Bowling from Jamieson. It was a slower ball. And I think Matthew Short's got it all horribly wrong. I have a feeling this might have hit him on the full. He's just missed a full toss. And it's hit him in the shin in front of middle stump. Big smile from Jamieson. Can't believe he missed it. Sort of signalling to the rest of New Zealanders, but it did dip quite a lot. But that's a ball that you perhaps should not be missing, particularly when you're in.
Matt Short dismissed for 29 from 18 deliveries. Entertaining stuff from the Australian number 3. But he's on his way. 135 for 2, and as one superstar departs, another one comes onto the field in the form of Tim David, with Australia only needing 47 more.
Perhaps a more powerful one. We've seen what he can do, not only for his country, but around the world in the leagues. Such a powerful hitter. But to be fair, New Zealand have done exactly what they needed to. They needed to break that partnership, and you feel as though to stay in this game, they definitely need to get rid of Mitch Marsh and then try and pick up 2 or 3 quick wickets and try and put some pressure on this Australian middle to lower order. But there's some work to be done to get to that.
Tim David, 60 games, averaging 37, does have a T20 international century. And as you say, Chris Harris, the work he's done around the world in the franchise leagues, it is a body of work that is full of power shots and big hitting and relentless, brutal slogging of the cricket ball. He's a tremendous player.
Was the strike rate 168.7? Because that's right up there.
Takes no prisoners, Tim David. Jamieson gets his first wicket. He's in again to the right-hander. Jamieson waiting. David waiting and playing this one square to Mark Chapman on the fence at the sweeper position, and there's 1 run. David off the mark. He's won. It's 136 for 2.
Yeah, don't mind that from Jamieson. Don't mind them giving David a couple of short ones. We know he's a powerful man and perhaps could put it over the fence, but always tough right at the start of your innings. If you get it wrong, perhaps could create an opportunity or a chance for New Zealand. So I don't mind that, especially with some protection in the outfield. Don't mind a few short balls. Although my job, if Mitch Marsh is on strike, is just get him off strike.
Jamieson to the right-handed Marsh, swinging on the onsides, a dive out at deep backward square, and no dice for Tim Robinson on that occasion. Another powerful shot from Mitchell Marsh, another boundary, another big barrel boundary.
He's so powerful, isn't he? It wasn't a bad ball, just a little bit too short. Didn't hit it right in the middle of the bat, but so strong. Had no chance. I think that's Robinson out at deep backward square leg. It was a valiant effort, big dive.
140 for 2. Marsh 74 from 32 deliveries. Jamieson into him, tries to heave this one on the leg side as well. Can't catch up, takes it on the body, and it's a dot ball.
Almost frustrated he missed out there. Thought it was there to hit. Just signalling that he thought it just held in the pitch a little bit more than he expected. And he got through the shot very, very early. Just hit him on the front shoulder, I think, or the back shoulder. No thought of him rubbing it though, Tom.
No, not at all. Probably didn't even feel it. Kyle Jamieson in again, right arm over the wicket, bowls to Marsh, and Marsh is playing this one down the ground, and we'll get a single as David just had to scamper, realising the New Zealand fielder was getting to the ball a little faster than he thought at mid-on. 141 for 2. David 1, Marsh 75. Australia need another 41 to win from 49 deliveries.
It'll be interesting, the last ball of the over on Tim David. He looked a little bit uncomfortable on that first ball he got that was a little bit short. It's just a bit wide, and he sort of played it late but got it out to deep point. So I think Jamieson might go short again just to test him out.
Jamieson into David, that's exactly what he does, but he almost saw it coming. So sat back in the crease and then swatted it over the top of mid-wicket inside the circle, and it raced out towards the boundary in front of the big embankment, and that ends the over. David's 5, Marsh is 75, Australia 145 for 2.
Rugby seasons are heating up. The PGG Wrightson Turf are laying the foundations. They've been supplying sports stadiums across New Zealand now for over 40 years. From pro sports turf to turf landscaping, through to revegetation and erosion control, their highly skilled team are well equipped to help you achieve your next turf project. To find out more about how they can help with your turf grass solutions, visit pggwrightsonturf.com today.
Australia 145 for 2 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. They need 182 to win, so they need 37 more to win from 48 deliveries. Mitchell Marsh, the Australian captain's on 75 from 34. So good support from Travis Head and Matt Short in this innings, but this has been the Mitchell Marsh show on the chase. And they only need 37 more to win. 12 overs gone in the innings. Jacob Duffy coming back into the attack. First 2 overs cost 26. And he is bowling to the right-handed Marsh, who drives down the ground. Coming forward from long off was Bracewell. But for the first time tonight, I think, Chris Harris, Mitchell Marsh didn't really time it. And so it never made it to Bracewell on the full.
No, it didn't. And I like this from New Zealand. They keep ringing the changes. So difficult when you get a guy that's in and seeing it so well as Mitch Marsh, who just seems to be hitting everything in the middle. All you can do is keep trying to bowl your best deliveries and keep mixing up the order. Hence the reason that Michael Bracewell is ringing the changes regularly. And I think that's New Zealand's best hope, because what Australia have done very well is put away New Zealand's good bowling, and then they've got some rubbish in between.
There's Duffy bowling to David. Doesn't really use his feet. That ball just waves the bat outside the off stump and it nips away into the gloves of Seifert. It's a dot ball, 146 for 2.
He's that type of player though, isn't he, David? He'll miss you a good delivery and then all of a sudden he hits you for 4 or 6. Such a powerful man and a dangerous player. Duffy's just got to try and keep it in those areas. Back of a length, don't let him get on top of you. Lots of energy.
Duffy into David. David's driving, square. Cut off by Robinson on the fence, and they get through for a single. David 6, 147 for 2.
That's what I was talking about before, Tom. It just gets to the sweeper so quickly. It was only ever one, but it was hit so firmly. You can just see if he gets his timing, he gets that either side of the sweeper, it's going to race away for 4.
Once again does Marsh for Duffy, who goes short, and Marsh tries to heave it on the onside. Can't catch up with it through to Seifert. Remains 147 for 2.
Yeah, interesting option for Marsh. You've got a short third man, backward point. It's wide of off stump. He's trying to pull it where there's protection for New Zealand out in the outfield. You sort of feel as though if he played a ramp shot there, there's no one back on the offside except for an extra cover and a long off.
3 players up inside the ring, behind square on the offside, driven this time forcefully by Marsh. 2 players, including Tim Robinson, coming across from cover. Marsh has to scamper back for the second, gets a rough bounce as Tim Seifert as he goes to collect that. Fortunately, Devin Conway was backing up, and they get just the 2 runs. 78 to Mitch Marsh, 149 for 2 Australia.
I sort of feel as though that was tough because that was a difficult bounce, but Tim Seifert hasn't been at his best with his gloves tonight. He's seen a couple of buys go through from slow balls that shouldn't have, and just a couple of little errors that are creeping in. It's funny, those little errors come in when you're under pressure, and just some of those throws that he's not gathering.
Duffy, full toss. Marsh can't profit to the maximum. He'll get a single as he hits the ball to mid-wicket inside the circle, and that ends the 13th over. Australia's 150 is up, 150 for 2. Mitch Marsh 79, Tim David's on 6. They need 32 more to win this first Chappell-Hadlee T20.
When it comes to New Zealand sports turf, nobody knows it better than PGG Wrightson Turf. They've been in the industry for over 40 years, proudly supplying customers right across the country, from stadiums to councils, golf courses to racetracks, even through to revegetation and erosion control. Their highly skilled team are well equipped in every aspect of turf and environmental markets. So, for your next turf project, talk to New Zealand's experts. pggwrightsonturf.com.
Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui is the venue for the first of 3 Chappell-Hadlee T20 International. New Zealand 181 for 6. And in reply, Australia 150 for 2. They need 32 more to win. 42 balls remaining. And Kyle Jamieson's going to bowl his fourth and final over. 1 for 39 are his figures. He bowls to the right-handed Marsh, who comes at the bowler, heaves this one just to the right of the diving extra cover fielder, and it flies like a rocket out to the fence for a big barrel boundary. 154 for 2.
Oh, there's a great example. Again, Jamieson not done too much wrong there. It was a reasonably good delivery. Full on the stumps. Mitch Marsh advancing, giving himself some room, and hit with so much power. It was just to the right of extra cover. He dived, but still didn't get near it. It was through him before he got close to it.
Jamieson in again to Marsh, and Marsh this time plays straight down the ground. Doesn't time it as well as we've seen him time a lot of them tonight, and it sort of trickles down towards long on. And there is one more to Marsh. 84 from 40 deliveries. He's on. 155 for 2 Australia. They need 27 more.
This is getting close to that time as a bowler. You're sort of hoping the captain doesn't look your way and say get loose. As Australia get close to victory here. I just saw Zach Folkes warming up in the just out the window, so he might not be far away. He might be next from this end.
David waits for Jamieson. This time happy to turn the hands on the bat, but it ends up hitting just straight back to the bowler. No runs scored. 155 for 2 it remains.
I get a feeling it's getting tight, and Tim Davis almost just trying to feed Mitch Marsh the strike. Not that they worry too much about milestones, but he certainly, the way he's played today, would deserve 100.
Oh, we saw 100 from Tim Robinson in the New Zealand innings. 106. He was required out in the centre in the first over, so batted all the way through for that 106 not out. And New Zealand's 181. It's set to be on a losing effort at the moment. Short delivery to David. Swings through to mid-wicket. Mark Chapman does the fielding. One more to the total. 156 for 2. David 7.
Yeah, I quite like that plan. Got protection, deep mid-wicket, deep square. As I said, bowling short. David doesn't look particularly comfortable, and you feel as though there's a risk even in getting that single because there's a man at mid-wicket who's catching as well. So there's an element of risk to score a run, and you feel as though it's a chance to bring about his dismissal. On the other hand, Mitch Marsh, you just want to try and bowl your best ball and hope he only gets one.
He's on 84. Marsh waits for Jamieson, drives straight down the ground, just avoids the wickets, and they will get one run as the fielding's done by Long off Daryl Mitchell. 157 for 2.
Could be a chance to look at spin again. Brace will maybe have to give himself another opportunity. Look, he may get hit, but you also feel as though I felt as though he was quite a good chance of getting a wicket.
I think he's about the only bowler New Zealand have tried tonight that hasn't gone the distance from a consistency basis. His first over 6 singles, but ultimately they've all been taken apart by Marsh. Next delivery to Tim David. Takes his bottom hand off the bat this time as it comes back towards him. Plays it on that leg side of the stumps, and there is no run. End of the over. Australia on track, 157 for 1.
Big battle, your local liquor store.
Pure Blonde 24-pack cans, $42.99. Heineken 24-pack bottles, a hot 2 for $90. Voldoro, Tawny or Ruby Port, any 2 for $60. Maloney's Irish Cream 700ml, a hot 2 for $32.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big battle, your local liquor store.
Australia 157 for 2 on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. They need 182. 25 more. 6 overs to do it. Mitch Marsh 85 from 41, and Matt Henry to bowl his fourth and final over. He bowls a Yorker length delivery to Marsh and clamps down on it, plays it down the ground to Jamieson, but doesn't take the single. So you said before, Chris Harris, milestones might not matter. Well, that suggests maybe Mitch Marsh does fancy a century. He only needs 15 more. Meets Tim David in the middle. They punch gloves.
I assure you that had nothing to do with that. There was just a misunderstanding. I think Tim David thought it was going to that man at mid-wicket, and then they just decided to turn it down.
It's all very casual, wasn't it? Here's Henry bowling to Marsh and heaving this one in the air, and he's going to be caught on the fence by Tim Robinson at deep cover.
Should have run, Tom. Should have run.
Mitch Marsh heads off, caught Robinson, bowled Henry for 85. He's done all the work to get Australia pretty much home. And that is a wonderful innings that comes to an end. It was full, got under it as we've seen him do so often, but picked out Robinson on the fence. Mitch Marsh goes for 85. New Zealand get their third wicket at 157.
Yeah, absolute fabulous innings from Mitch Marsh, the Australian captain. He's broken the back of that innings of 181 that Australia are chasing for victory. 85 from just 43 deliveries, and of course, who's going to get the wicket for New Zealand? One Matt Henry. It's perhaps a little bit too late, but just good to knock some of the Australians over as they get close to this total.
What a knock, though, from Mitch Marsh. Hit them to all parts of Bay Oval. Won the toss, so he did the first thing right. Restricted New Zealand to 181, and then when he picked up his bat and headed out, Chris Harris, that's the kind of innings sets the tone for your team in a series.
Yeah, well, he's made fun of the history here. History before this game. If you won the toss, you're always batted first here. And he sort of giggled with me at the toss after winning it and said, well, everyone knows I'm a captain who likes to bowl first. And I'll tell you what, tonight, very justified the way that they've played Australia.
Left-handed wicketkeeper batsman Alex Carey comes out to bat. First delivery is short, and he went to play the pull shot and then just allowed it to arrive. It caught the top of the bat and flew down to a very fine leg, and it's gone for 4. So Alex Carey underway with a big barrel boundary, 161 for 3 Australia.
That's either brilliant from Alex Carey or just a little bit lucky. Yeah, like you said, described it well. He tried to pull it, pulled out of it, and just got a little top edge that just flew straight over the top of Tim Seifert for 4.
Henry round the wicket to the left-handed Carey, who advances this time and then looks to play a defensive shot, flies past the outside edge into the gloves of Seifert. It's a dot ball, 161 for 3. Carey is on 4. Tim David 7. Australia the equation, 21 more to win from 32 balls.
Yeah, I like that length from Henry as well, and that effort. You can see he's running in pretty hard, trying to hit that back of a length, trying to get the outside edge of Carey.
Henry into Carey, gives himself some room, tries to play a similar shot, takes it on the arm, and then it heads to third man. It's cut off inside the circle, and they take 1. 162 for 3. Carey is 5.
I was looking forward to seeing Cole Jamieson bowl. I hadn't seen him bowl for a while in New Zealand. His first 2 overs expensive for 29, and the next 2, I think, only went for 17. So some good positive signs. He was put under pressure early and I thought responded quite well. So that's one positive from a bowling perspective for New Zealand.
They'll have a couple of days to mull over it, decide whether James Neesham, Ish Sodhi, Ben Sears, what the makeup of the 11 will be for Friday night. Of course, this is the first of 3 games being played here at Bay Oval. Here is Henry bowling to the right-handed Tim David, who just decides to go whack over deep mid-wicket. Wasn't that short, but he was in position quickly, and he has hit that a long way. Tim David 13. Australia 168 for 3. They need 14 more. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, Daniel McHardy and Ian Smith to take us to the conclusion of this first Chappell-Hadlee T20 International.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
Summer of cricket from Bay Oval, where Australia, wow, impressive, 168 for the loss of 3, chasing 182 for victory. They are going to cruise home. They've been savage, Smithy, as it will be Bracewell to bowl his third over, none for 17. 14 required. 30 balls available. They'll probably get there. As the off spinner from around the wicket sees Carey coming forward, guiding it to short third man, no run.
Oh, they've been powerless to stop them, New Zealand. That's the problem. Obviously, they've come to this ground with bowling plans, done their homework on where to bowl to certain players, but they've been hit out of those plans. Hit all over the place, in fact.
Left-hander Carey onto the front foot, works it through mid-on for just a single, moving to 6. It's 169 for the loss of 3. Did New Zealand try too much? Are they a little bit all over the place?
Well, they didn't make enough runs for a start, and they had to get wickets early on in the piece, and that first power play just nailed it, really, to be honest. So they've just got to score more. Simple as that. The barometer for runs now is well over 200, and unless you've got an indifferent pitch. If you've got anything like a good surface, you really are aiming at 200 plus.
Back over the wicket to the right-hander, Bracewell. The New Zealand captain fires down the leg side. There's going to be a wide, and they'll take another as Seifert can't take it cleanly. Not for the first time tonight with the gloves. Seifert, arms wide open from umpire Brown. 171 for the loss of 3, 11 runs away now.
If you looked at these two sides and you said, OK, which of these two sides has been playing relatively high level of cricket recently, and which one hasn't played for a while, pretty obvious as you look out the window.
Short approach, Bracewell. Swept from well outside of off stump through mid-wicket, as is his will often. Carey loves that stroke. Single, 172 for 3.
So it's a bit of a cobweb performance, I suppose you'd describe it as, from New Zealand. There's been patches of good stuff in both disciplines, and there's been some pretty average stuff in between. And when you have the average stuff dominating, you're never going to beat Australia.
Tim David, this powerful figure, waits, leaves a ball alone outside of off stump. 172 for the loss of 3. 10 runs away. 26 balls still available. Mitch Marsh, what a hitting display we've seen from the Australian captain. Bracewell very wide outside of off stump. It's full, and Smithy into that. A wide is called. 173 for 3.
A little debate in the next room to who you'd give player of the match to. Traditionally, you give it to someone on the winning side. So I guess that's the case. Marsh.
The guy 85 off 43. Might be hard to argue. Here's a huge hit over mid-wicket. More than halfway up the embankment.
And now you know why Michael Bracewell was trying to bowl wide of off stump. If he bowls anything straight, it's going to go. It's just the succession of power that they get coming out of the dressing room. Alex Carey's an exception to the rule. He's quite an elegant stroke maker. He's not a power hitter. And he's here because Josh Inglis pulled out, who is a player.
Stoinis, Owen, I think career strike rates of 150 plus. Still to come. David sedately works it through the onside for a single. He will move to 20. 2 runs away now. 180 for the loss of 3. 16 overs have been bowled. Marsh, 85 off 49. 9 fours, 5 sixes. Head 31 off 18 with 6 fours. Short, 29 off 18. 2 fours and 2 sixes, including one of the most glorious pick-up drop kicks you will see. That travelled, 2/3 the way up the massive light tower as it sailed past. David now is 20 off 11. Carey is on 7. But Mitch Marsh, the ability to hit the ball just so fast, like straight past fielders. It looked like they were almost in danger.
It was just a power hitting display. There's no real effort to work the ball into gaps for a quick 2, or it was just the stand and deliver approach. It was almost like I won't say an open wicket practice for him, but it was a bit like a home run derby. You just keep dishing it up and he keeps hitting it further.
Well, he bats like he's at the toss.
Yeah.
I know what I like to do. I'm going to do it no matter what. Going to take it to his folks. None for 30 off 2 overs. Short, pulled away, hitting high on the bat. Not going to travel all the way towards the deep mid-wicket. A single. Scores are tied. 181 for the loss of 3. Just 23 balls to get 1 run.
Bring him in, Michael. Bring them all in, just in case. 1-1 and comprehensive. This is, I won't say a smashing, but pretty close to it. And it's just given an indication of where Australia's T20 cricket is at the moment, with a couple of players not in the mix, and how much work New Zealand have to do. And they'll do it, no, undoubtedly. They'll put the effort in, and they'll have to, but they've just been given a very quick wake-up call.
Most have come in, except for Deep Square, obviously fears for his life on the boundaries. Kerry waits, 4 folks, backs away and awkwardly steers it straight to short third man. Hit high on the bats, ballooned away. He has not handled the short ball well in that very short stay. So a consolation wicket for New Zealand. 181 for the loss of 4. Kerry gone, caught Chapman off the bowling of folks for 7.
Very odd shot. In fact, he got off the mark with a very odd shot as well. I'm not quite sure whether he was troubled by the short ball, whether he has an issue there. I haven't really noticed too much of it in the past, but England might be looking at that for the Ashes, if that's the case.
Henry immediately went short from around the wicket. They hurried him up, and folks has his tricks. Was that a slower delivery? You know, I mean, I'd need a replay to pick anything, Smithy, don't I?
I don't think it was that slow. It sort of got to him before he knew what he was doing with it. He was just in two minds. It was like a guy who hasn't had a bat for a while, but he has played a little bit of Sheffield Shield cricket, a little bit of cricket against South Africa as well. So it's not like he's been away from the crease. They just keep coming out. Stoinis.
So they're not into the tail yet, Smithy.
148.6 career strike rate.
Stoinis, over 1,200 runs too. Handy with the ball earlier today. Did a job. I guess the balance of their side was a little bit thrown out with no Glenn Maxwell, but gee, you think of the options they have with the ball. They had a lot they didn't even need today. And Matthew Short, I'm not sure many of us thought he'd bowl 3. Did a good job, 1 for 32 with his buzzing off breaks. It will be, folks, to Stoinis, the right-hander. Pulls the ball away to the boundary, and fitting Australia finish with another 4. A belligerent batting display at Bay Oval has seen them blast the Black Caps to all parts, and Australia take a 1-0 series lead in the Chappell-Hadlee, winning at a canter by 6 wickets.
Yep, that pretty much summed it up. It was a short pitch delivery, an attempt at one which didn't get up high enough, and Stoinis has been sitting in the dressing room probably thinking, I'm not going to get a hit tonight. Comes out and belts it like he's on 60 not out after 10 balls. I mean, he just saw it like a pumpkin, and that one piece of action there summed it up, really. Whatever New Zealand came up with, Australia had a very harsh answer for today. And, you know, let's go back to the start of it, where Tim Robinson's innings was absolutely fantastic, and so Daryl Mitchell in support, but I've got to realise that it just wasn't enough by some margin, because unless you can get early wickets, unless you can make that power play count in your favour with the ball, you're defending 220, 230. I mean, what would they have got tonight if they were really pushed the way they were going? They may well have got 260, 250, 260.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then so that's the one you've got to look at and say, well, not just do we have to go harder and get to 200 plus, we have to push and really, really push if we want to be world champions in about 3.5 months' time. So it's a really cruel introduction to the season as such, and a lot of fans will be disappointed. They've seen some great hitting, and in T20 cricket, that's probably what you come to see. 3 for 6 or 6 for 3, they probably thought they'd have been home by now.
Yeah, that's
a lot of them. So New Zealand did, and that's the real plus. They dug themselves out of the deepest hole you can imagine, but in the end, they just weren't able to defend it. And I'm not quite sure any other bowling attack or any other New Zealand combination would have been able to. They just looked, once they got taken to, they just got a little devoid of ideas and the plans.
Yeah, ferocious, the Australian batting, no doubt about that, but it was all set up by their bowling inside the power play too. And as they rip the top off the New Zealand order, we'll look at all of those things in our post-match wrap after this short break. Australia leads the 3-match Chappell-Hadlee series by 1-0, chasing down New Zealand's total of 181 for 6 inside 17 overs. 185 for the loss of 4. The Aussies up by 1. Back with more from Bay Oval shortly.
Since the 1970s, Roundup's seen it all in the Kiwi backyard. The paisley prints, the short shorts, the backyard cricket, the conversations with the lawnmower, the barbies, and the outdoor lifestyle we still love today. We've been helping Kiwis keep weeds down year after year with a product for every job, from paths and lawns to those hard-to-kill weeds. Roundup makes it simple. Roundup, part of Kiwi backyards since 1976. To banish weeds now, reach for the Roundup.
Rugby seasons are heating up. The PGG Rights and Turf are laying the foundations. They've been supplying sports stadiums across New Zealand now for over 40 years. From pro sports turf to turf landscaping, through to revegetation and erosion control, their highly skilled team are well equipped to help you achieve your next turf project. To find out more about how they can help with your turf grass solutions, visit pggrightsandturf.com today.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
The Chemist Warehouse Spring Frenzy mega sale is on now with up to half price off big brands like Me Today, TVH, Glow Label, La Roche-Posay and Neutrogena up to half price. Plus W7, Next, Nude by Nature, Revlon and Sally Hansen up to half price. Sale ends October 1 only at Chemist Warehouse.
Summer of cricket on Sport Nation. Australia have a 1-0 series lead in the best of 3 Chappell-Hadlee T20 series. Wrapping up things convincingly at Bay Oval. It's time for our post-match roundup. Thanks to Roundup alongside me, former New Zealand international Ian Smith. And Ian, it was a cold, windswept evening in Mount Maunganui, but gee, the Australians, they were blazing hot really from the off.
They set a hot pace, didn't they, when they had New Zealand 6 for 3. And in all sorts at that point. Then we saw a wonderful recovery from Tim Robinson and, of course, Daryl Mitchell. And I wondered how they were going to play at that stage. And what I did like is that they just kept the positive attitude going. They didn't say, well, we've just got to make sure we don't lose a wicket for another 2 or 3 overs and reassess things then. But they didn't do that. They came back at Australia. That's the real plus for me. Robinson's innings was absolutely outstanding. Hasn't had a lot of experience against this level, against a bowling attack in a side like Australia. So for him to accept that mantle and go on and score 100 was very, very fitting indeed. In the end, it wasn't a match-winning 100, but it may well be on any other day. Then, of course, what they had to do was strike early. They weren't able to do that, Daniel. They had Matt Henry, who's usually a wicket taker. You got Kyle Jamieson. They used 4 seamers in the first 4 overs. That's how unsure Michael Bracewell was. He was searching, absolutely searching for, some little bit of something to spark the bowling performance, and he couldn't find it. So the power play killed them in that regard. And from the end of the power play, they could have walked it. They absolutely could have walked it because the run rate required was minimal by T20 standards. So what New Zealand have probably learnt tonight is, yes, it's the international cricket season. Yes, Australia here to mean business. There is a trophy at stake, a very proud trophy, the Chappell-Hadlee trophy. And we have now got 1 day. It's very quick, isn't it? 3 games in 4 days. We've got 1 day to reassess things, whether you do that in the nets or whether you just sit down back in your hotel room or your strategy rooms and start talking about areas that you thought you were going to be able to bowl. They have to change now on what we've seen tonight.
6 for the loss of 3. No one draws up a game plan like that. And you're so right, New Zealand did very well to fight their way back. But at 93 for 3 after 10 overs, did they do enough for the back half? And if not, why not? No,
I thought they lost their way ever so slightly when Jacobs came in. I just thought he felt a pace-on sort of player to me. I haven't seen a lot of him, but it looked less comfortable when Short and Zampa were bowling to him, and he had to make the pace. I thought he looked better when the quicker bowlers were on. And at that point, Robinson also, because I don't know whether it was because he didn't get enough of the strike at that time, but he sort of lost his momentum ever so slightly as well. And when you've got both players doing that, you can have a little bit of a lull. And that lull cost them probably, 15 to 20 runs, which may have seen them get to 200.
And Australia just give you no freebies. Their ability to, limit the boundary balls in that second half of the innings. Probably we'll lose sight of that because what followed Mitch Marsh, just spectacular.
Well, it's a carefree attitude, really, almost, isn't it? It's it's like everyone comes out with a free licence. They're not playing for their place in the side. They're not playing for their international future. They're not playing to pay their mortgage or anything. They just come out with this freedom. They play with a smile on their face, whether they're bowling and their fielding wasn't brilliant tonight. They dropped 2 or 3 catches, and they usually set a higher standard than that. I didn't think they were absolutely outstanding in that department. So they've got improvements to make as well. But New Zealand have to make them bigger ones and very quickly.
Mitchell Marsh, where would you bowl on?
Well, initially I'd just try and get him out with orthodox cricket, but New Zealand will look at that and say, did we bowl wicket balls at him? Did we really bowl wicket balls? I mean, you give him width, then he's got these amazingly strong arms, and then you put a bat on the end of it. Width is right, and it's like bowling to a home run hitter and putting it on and just saying, look, sooner or later you're going to hit one out of the park. If you miss that one, I might have a chance. But in the power play, you can't have the players out, the fielders out to restrict that. And so he becomes so dangerous. And the best sides in the world have got those players. They've got those lethal players that can take a game away from you in the space of 36 deliveries. One power play, they can basically hit you out of the game or dent your opportunity to win it. That's exactly what happened with... and I don't think Travis Head was in vintage touch tonight. No. And you can bet that in the next 2 nights he might have one. Marsh looks like he can come out and do that again in 2 nights' time. He just looks in superb touch. Tim David looked a little bit at ease at times, to be perfectly honest, but anyone would have after watching Marsh. I mean, we're comparing a lot of people there. So it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, it's only day one of the season, or night one of the season. And there were some really good aspects of what New Zealand did. They just didn't do it collectively enough and for long enough to knock over a very good side.
Yeah, to Smithy's point, and the power on display from the Australians, 24s and 9 sixes they hit in 16 and a half overs.
Not a small ground. I mean, this is not a postage stamp ground. There's some decent dimensions to this ground. And it was a difficult night for the bowlers, and we should say that the wind was not easy for a lot of bowlers who traditionally wouldn't be used to bowling with, I won't say gale force winds, but very strong winds upsetting their rhythms and their lines and their lengths. So that wasn't an easy thing for them to get through. But, it's the thing about international sport and international cricket in particular, when you learn, you've got to learn quickly, and they've only got a short space of time. It's a very harsh form of the game, T20 cricket, because it can punish you. It's not like a test match where you can have a bad day one and come back and fight back on day 2. It can just disappear from you very quickly. So you've got to have the presence of mind to put out of your mind some of that stuff tonight. Put out of it and say, yes, game 1, night 1 of our season, long season to go. Let's not get down in the dumps about it. But we got a lesson a lot earlier in the season than we thought we were probably going to get. Yeah. And we have to do something about it.
Picking up on that strand and finishing off with a highlight from a New Zealand perspective, Tim Robinson, who was 6 off 11. He didn't let it get to him, and he was very impressive.
Anyone that gets 100 against Australia in any form of the game has done very well, because they don't make it easy for you. This is still a very good bowling attack. No Mitchell Starc, no Pat Cummins, and normally they've been fixtures in Australia's T20 attack. Mitchell Starc's not going to play international cricket anymore in the T20 version anyway, and so you're going to have to find replacements, and that's what Australia are doing here. They're trying to make sure that they've got a backup bowling attack that is going to get them through injuries and get to a high enough standard that they don't lose too much when they lose the superstars. So this is a good learning curve for them as well. And I thought 2 or 3 of their bowlers performed pretty well tonight, but they've got work to do as well. And that's the thing about Australia. They don't rest on their laurels. They're greedy for better standards, and that makes them very, very dangerous.
Thoughts of Ian Smith, who'll be with us as the series progresses. And that wraps up our post-match roundup. To banish weeds, reach for the roundup. I wonder if it helps you getting rid of Mitchell Marsh too, roundup. New Zealand might need to try that in a couple of days.
Roundup? Yeah. Ooh, you're clutching at it now. What, are you going to go home and practice batting against spin bowling in the slow motion replays?
I'm going to work with my googly, in the mirror.
You know what a googly is?
I missed you. The summer of cricket is back, and we're loving it, and I hope you enjoyed our coverage tonight. Result aside, from a New Zealand perspective, Mitch Marsh, man of the match by the looks, unsurprising after his dominant display with the bat, thumping New Zealand to all parts with his 85 off 43 balls, 9 fours and 5 sixes. Australia are up 1-0. They've won by 6 wickets more from Bay Oval. Tom Bartlett and Chris Harris with you after this.
It's
so impressive, but this time he's hit square of the wicket.
You're listening to the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. This is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chappell-Hadlee Trophy, live from Bay Oval in Tauranga on Sport Nation.